Breezy, cloudy afternoon, but thankfully it's dry, and even better, the forecast is for it to remain dry throughout the next 7 or 8 hours at least. That should get us nicely through to the end of this doubleheader. Later on, we'll have the Notts Outlaws facing Warwickshire in the men's match. But before then, the appetiser, if you like, some might even say it's the main course. The Blaze won 3 out of their 4 matches up against Warwickshire's women's side. They only met last Wednesday at Edgbaston. The Bears still to register a victory, courtesy of the Blaze getting over the line there. Tammy Beaumont and Marie Kelly. Those of you watching the live stream will see her on the way out to the middle. Warwickshire have won the toss. Their skipper Georgia Davis, no hesitation in putting the Blaze in. So we'll be underway in just a moment. Team news from the home side as they make one change from Sunday. Charlie Phillips returns in place of Georgia Boyce to bring you up to date with everything to do with the Bears. For the first time, I think, since we were together for the semi-final at the Oval last July. A warm welcome back to Trent Bridge to Mike Taylor. How are you, fella?
It's good to be with you. That of course, was the Bears women's last win in T20 cricket. They have won some 50-over games since then. But
the Blaze were wonged that day, I think it's fair to say.
They were. Well, alas for Warwickshire, Izzy Wong, one of several players who haven't featured in this tournament so far. She's been away with England duty. Davina Perrin's injured, who was such a big part of that team. So they show one change today from the side that lost to Durham last Friday in Chesterley Street. Nat Wraith comes back in. At the moment, expecting Abby... Oh, no, it is Nat Wraith who's going to keep wicket. Abby Freeborn's kept wicket last time out. But Nat Wraith for Bethan Ellis is the one change from that game, as I say, at Chesterley Street 7 days ago, where they failed by quite a long way to chase 141.
Do you want to kick us off, Mike, from the far end? We had a huge crane there doing things up until about an hour ago, but they've packed that up now. They've headed off, no doubt, for the weekend. Birmingham's very own Marie Kelly is on strike, and it'll be Alexa, bowl the first ball, please.
Yes, Alexa Stonehouse is going to do that. Well, you're upsetting all the most technologically minded of our listeners. You can get all the commentaries on smart speaker now. There's no smarter speaker than Dave Bracegirdle. Here's Stonehouse to start the game with the first ball left arm over the wicket from the pavilion end, and it's turned into the leg side, and there isn't a run as Suren Kumar fields. In these early overs, of course, the first 6 overs, the power play is in place, which means that only 2 fielders are allowed outside the 30-yard. It's not quite a circle, it's a 30-yard oval in the centre of the playing area to protect the boundary. Stonehouse goes shorter, and Kelly, trying to lift this up and down towards third, doesn't make much contact, hits it into the ground really, and Wraith comes out from beyond the stumps to pick up.
Yes, the Bears, both the women and the men, looking to get up and running in this season's competition today.
Stonehouse hurrying in again to bowl full to Kelly, who doesn't quite time that, trying to drive it into the leg side and pulls it a little bit towards mid-wicket. And Suren Kumar fields, and there still isn't a run.
I find that astonishing, Mike. Having seen a terrific 50-over match between the two sides early on in the year, and then flipping it over to the men, knowing how strong traditionally they've been in this competition.
Yeah, both sides been missing key players, but it's still a pretty disappointing return, to say the least. Stonehouse bowls nearly got through that one. Kelly again getting an under edge, mistiming this away into the offside behind square. She will get a run as Freeborn comes into field, but not quite finding her timing so far, Marie Kelly.
Brings Tammy Beaumont back on to strike. They have the moment of the day award here, or some such.
Have you won it yet?
I haven't, no. But on Sunday, Tammy Beaumont won it. Not sure what the hold-up is here, so we can just go back 4 or 5 days. Tammy Beaumont out on the Fox Road side of the ground took a catch. I don't know if it's come up one of the clips on social media. Diving full length, horizontal away to our left. It's an incredible catch.
That, yes.
Although the Blaze lost to Durham, that was Durham's first win in this season's competition. Beaumont got the moment of the day. Nat Wraith, is that the physio?
I think that might have been a concussion check. Wraith, I think, was suggesting that after that ball came off the edge of Marie Kelly's bat, it in fact hit her on the shoulder. But the umpires have said, well, they thought he clipped the helmet, so as per current protocols, it needed a physio to come from the dugouts, which are quite a long way away in the corner. So the smoke signals went up to get the physio moving. And we're happy. Well, no, we're not happy. Why, Tammy Beaumont's gone away to square leg after all that to go and fiddle with the pads and go through all the routines. And now Stonehouse, under quite cloudy skies at the moment, bowls a little bit short of a length, and Beaumont gets a well-placed single, pushing this away into the offside. And it's acrobatically fielded by Meg Austin, with not a great deal on it, but just a warm-up dive, and they take one.
I tell you what, that helmet of Nat Wraith is just about the brightest thing out on the field at the moment, the umpire's coats notwithstanding. A brilliant bright yellow. The yellow numbers on the blue a little clearer than we've had in the last year or two in this competition, certainly for the men.
You haven't seen Worcestershire recently, yeah?
No, I haven't seen them. I've seen...
You'll have fun. Stonehouse bowls, and Kelly carves this away into the offside, but to field Austin again on the edge of the circle. No run, so just two from the first over. 2 for none, the Blaze, after 1.
Yeah, of course, yourselves and the pairs not in the same group as Notts now. We don't play against them, but I have...
When you play them on finals day, Dave, I'm surprised you haven't already said.
I don't think that's going to be happening. Yes. Certainly would need to be an improvement if that's going to happen. The Blaze are 3-1. The Notts Outlaws men are 1-3. To bowl the second over from this end, it's going to be Mary Taylor. There'll be no confusion. Is it Mary? Is it Millie today? Because Millie not involved today. The sisters separated. Mary Taylor, bowl right arm medium fast from the Radcliffe Road end. Just 2 coming from the opening over. Memorable only for that brief concussion check. Plays in their brilliant bright red tops. And the first ball is worked away through mid-wicket by Tammy Beaumont. Strong area of Beaumont. Good return from the deep by Stonehouse, I think it is, isn't it there? 3 without loss.
It's just one or two little patches of blue sky around, but the forecast for today has cheered up quite a bit since earlier in the week, so hopefully we'll get 2 complete games. Umpire
at this end is Mohammed Wazeem. Rosedovi is at square leg. Our scorers Neil Fennick and Sam Stringfellow doing the notching over in the backman board in the far corner. Taylor in again. Kelly's picked out deep mid-wicket, will just fall short of Stonehouse. Who fires that? Is that Stonehouse?
That's Pavely, I think.
Gareth Pavely. Yes. Similarly blonde-haired. The deep mid-wicket fence. Just a single to Marie Kelly. 4 without loss.
Wonderfully aggressive fielder, Pavely. Attacks every ball as if it's the last ball of the match.
Got a century here in the 50-over competition. She had a stand of almost 200 with Katie George. Beaumont runs this again out to deep mid-wicket. Pavely, another strong throw. 5 without loss, the Blaze. Put into bat by the visitors today.
It's quite a steady start. Marie Kelly still trying to find her timing a little bit.
Kelly, the skipper, with Kirsty Gordon away with Scotland ahead of the World Cup. She'll get this into and through the offside. Probably going to pick up a couple of runs here, Marie Kelly. Just jogs back comfortably for the second. 7 without loss.
It's quite a big playing area. I know that, I can see that the rope away to the right is in this not quite a perfect circle here at Trent Bridge, the grassy area. So there's quite a space behind away towards the practice pitches in the corner, but it's not a small playing area for the women's game by any means.
No, there's a comfortable 2 in most areas. Taylor pitches it up. In fact, backing away there was Marie Kelly, and Taylor followed her nicely. Kelly could only play it on the leg side, and there's no run. The ball was fielded actually on what we presume will be the test match strip. Just a couple of weeks, the third test of the England-New Zealand series, which is going on along a pace, will be played here. So the series, one way or another, is nicely poised. Taylor in again. Kelly doing a lot of dancing around, and this time Taylor fired it down the leg side, and it's going to go for 5 wides. So that's a really welcome boost to the tally. First blast of music from the DJ man at the top of the Bridgeford Road stand over there.
Yeah, first time the ball's crossed the boundary rope, but outfoxed there, I think, by Marie Kelly shuffling about in the crease. Mary Taylor trying to follow, was always sort of one shuffle behind, and ended up firing it behind Kelly's pads.
Vastly experienced Marie Kelly, this 148th fixture in T20 cricket. Taylor bowls again, and she'll pull this out to Caris Pavley, who comes in and attacks the ball in the deep, keeps them to 1, and the over does come to an end. Decent one for the Blaze, 11 from it with those 5 wides. The Blaze 13 without loss after 2.
Yeah, that the bonus of the wides has got them going a little bit, but Kelly just beginning to find the middle of the bat in that over. Such a fine player, an outstanding record in that time. It's a powerful looking Blaze lineup, even if it is a little bit changed from last season. And Catherine Bryce, you say, away with Scotland at the moment.
Kirsty Gordon, Catherine Bryce, and Sarah Bryce.
Yes, it's quite a big chunk out of the team. It's Stonehouse with over number 3. Passes umpire Dovey, and Kelly scoops this over fine leg for 4 runs. Took a step across to the offside, made the room, and then just lifted it over Nat Wraith's shoulder and comfortably over fine leg and away to the boundary. And now Kelly is starting to go through the gears a bit.
No, Nat Sciver-Brunt's not had much cricket recently, out injured, but she's obviously away with England. So too Amy Jones, the wicket keeper. Orla Prendergast was here the first half of the season. She's with Ireland. She whacked a quick 50 to win that 50 over game.
Stonehouse tries again at 17 for no wicket and a full toss, and that's helped past Mary Taylor at fine leg as well, and a real sprint round the boundary from deep square from Hannah Baker, not quite in time. And now Stonehouse just chasing a little bit here, going fuller after being scooped on the first ball and a little bit overdoing it. Kelly met that on the full toss and had a choice of where to steer it to.
We're mob-handed today. We've got Richard Wilford here with Mike. We've got Carl van Vollenhoven, former Warwickshire player, former not second 11 player with us.
Stonehouse bowls again, short on the leg stump, and Kelly pulls, this time straight to Baker at deep square, and they'll have 1.
You'll be able to swap anecdotes with Kyle about his memorable Warwickshire career.
He'll have more anecdotes than I've got from my memorable Warwickshire career, that's for sure.
I'll give him stick, because one of the games he played was against Notts, and the Seba Mead got 100, so I always thank him when I see Kyle. So does Haas.
I believe, yes. It's 22 for none. This is hit comfortably in the air over mid-on by Beaumont. Was pitched right up for the stroke, and Beaumont lifted it away over Chloe Brewer and up to the fence for 4 runs. 3 boundaries in this over now, 26 for none, and the Blaze catching light. Yeah,
they've just clicked the switch, haven't they? Just time to increase the tempo. Charlie Knott doing next, the Australian, brought in as the overseas player for this competition, and then Georgia Elwis, who's been in fine form this year. It was her birthday on Sunday.
26 for none. Stonehouse not quite as full this time, and it's pushed away by Beaumont for a short single to Meg Austin, whose throw was a little bit off target, and well gathered by Wraith, diving away from the stumps to make sure that there weren't any additional runs. It's just 1 to Beaumont, who's 8. 27 for none.
Crowd's just built up slowly. And talked about it at length on Sunday. The people that obviously bought tickets seem somewhat reluctant to get here early. I know today's a little different to the Sunday matches, because people will be at work and school and college and the other things they normally do between Monday and Friday 9 to 5. But
Stonehouse tries again, takes the pace off this, and Kelly pulls out to mid-wicket, gets one out to Pavely, and it's the end of the over. 28 for none in 3 overs. The Blaze gathering pace, 15 off that one.
Yeah, Sunday just sort of didn't make a great deal of sense. Hardly any in for the Blaze against Durham women, and then they all came piling in their numbers for the men's match. And you know, if you bought a ticket, it means you can come for both. You can be here for all day, and very often, I mean, you never know what you're going to get with a day at the cricket, do you? But very often the men's matches, particularly the Blaze over the last year or two, have been just as thrilling, if not more thrilling than the men's. If you've got a ticket, come along and watch both if you can.
The Tier 1 competition last year was really good.
Yeah.
It was, you know, I saw a lot of, obviously, Warwickshire's games, but they were competitive. Most of the other teams played in the same attacking manner. It was good, entertaining stuff. His first bit of spin carries Pavely's going to bowl over number 4 now.
Yeah, from this Radcliffe Road end. Bowling to Marie Kelly, who's got a start now, 15 from 13. Pavely, slow left arm, bowls, and the first ball's just nudged to mid-wicket, and there's no run. Good start from Pavely. Always want to land your first one. Get it in a good area. Try and build up a little bit of pressure. 28 without loss. This carries Pavely again, bowling, and across her crease goes Kelly, and she's got this away. Just past the square leg umpire and away for 4 runs. Nicely pulled hard by Marie Kelly, who looks very much in the mood today. It's on 19 from 15, 32 without loss. Just a little too short, that one.
It was, and Kelly uses the crease well, doesn't she? She's very mobile. We've already seen her moving comfortably, moving to one side of the stumps and the other to pick off boundaries.
There's Pavely, third ball of the 4th over. The Blaze put into bat again. It's short, and this is hit through extra cover, and that'll go away for another boundary. Really tough for the bowlers, with only 2 fielders allowed outside the ring. You've pretty much got to set your field and bowl to it if you can.
Yeah.
But
can't be that short.
No, one through the offside, one through the leg side.
Sort of hurled that one into the pitch, and it just sat up at that sort of length.
So there's a deep mid-wicket and a long on. Does like to get down the track, Marie Kelly as well. Hit over the top, and this one was speared in. By far the quickest bowl that carries Pavely's bowled, and she followed Kelly a little bit, fired it up nice and full into the pads. And there's no run. 36 without loss. Tammy Beaumont not seeing much of the strike at the moment. This is short and again pulled out onto the leg side, and again it might go for 4. It will. Bears are going to have a little look at that. That's 2 through and past the square leg umpire. Away for 4 more. Profitable over again for the Blaze and Marie Kelly, the captain.
No, there's no real future in that length, I'm afraid. But the pace that carries Pavely bowls, and she does bowl a sort of quick, slow left arm, if you can have such a thing. But Fuller asking more questions. Short, it's just sitting up and asking to be whacked.
Good from the skipper. Georgia Davis came across and had a word, and again that's gone down the leg side. Is this going to be the second lot of 5 wides down the leg side? It is indeed. And that's again free and easy runs to the Blaze. Just can't afford that. And an over that was getting away from Carries Pavely. 12 runs coming from it. Now suddenly gone for 17 with 1 ball left.
Not as full as that. That went past Kelly on about shin height outside the leg stump.
Again, you made the point, though. Marie Kelly's moving around a lot in her crease.
That's not helping.
I think there was a little bit of second guessing there. I think Pavely sort of tried to follow her, but Kelly didn't back away as far this time. She'll paddle this away behind square, and they'll take a single. So Marie Kelly will be on strike, and another very good over. In fact, that's the best over of the innings so far. 18 from it. Carries Pavely has some work to do next time she's called upon to bowl. 46 without loss, the Blaze, after 4 overs. Tammy Beaumont has a watching brief. She's 8 not out from 5 balls. Marie Kelly doing her stuff. She's 28 not out from 19.
Yeah, Paisley bowled very well in this fixture last season, which was tied. It was the first game of the tournament last year, and it was a very good tie as well, in that it always felt that the Blaze, chasing about 160, were sort of 1 over ahead in the chase, and then suddenly it was tied. It was a remarkable effort to haul them back, because I think only 2 or 3 wickets fell.
Catherine Bryce got a half century in that game, didn't she?
But the Bears managed to just keep doggedly putting the pressure on. It's not happening at the moment. Mary Taylor's changed ends, goes to the pavilion end, and her first ball is full and heaved away through square leg by Kelly for 1 run. So we had 2 overs of Stonehouse, now a second over of Mary Taylor. The 2 senior seamers, there was Suren Kumar to bowl some seam up as well, and then the 3 spinners that the Bears have got today. Often they've had 4 in this competition last year and this year, but Paisley we've already seen, Davies to bowl off spin and Baker to bowl leg spin. In sunshine, all of a sudden, it's down the leg side, and it might be another 5 wides. There's a chase on up towards the rope, and it's just flicked back. It might run against the rope, not quite. It sort of flicked parallel to the rope, and that was a super chase from Stonehouse to restrict it to 2 wides plus the 1 run penalty, so that's 3 in all, saving 2 runs, but they really can't afford all these.
No.
It's 13 in wide. It's only 3 calls of wide, but it's brought 13 runs. 50 partnership raised in the 5th over. Taylor bowls again, and this is sweetly driven into the covers for no run by Beaumont.
Yeah, I don't know if Tammy Beaumont's in any sort of form or not. She's been very much at the non-striker's end, whilst Marie Kelly has already hit 5 fours in her 29.
Hoovered up the strike. Only 6 balls Beaumont has faced, and Kelly's faced 20. But been very productive. Something's reversing in the distance. It's echoing across the ground as Taylor, right arm over the wicket, just tucks Beaumont up for room a little bit. He's turned off a hit for 1 run to Stonehouse at fine leg.
The qualification scenario, obviously, a little different this year. It was just the top 3 that made it through to finals day last year, wasn't it? And both these sides were involved with Surrey at the Oval. This year, the top 4. So there'll be 2 semi-finals and a final. The finals day running on a similar lines to the men's.
Taylor goes close to the stumps and bowls a big wide that's very well stopped by Wraith, diving away to her left. She's had some very difficult balls to collect already, but did well with that one.
So all is not lost for the Bears, is it? I think if they won today, if they won 6 of their last 8, you'd imagine that would get them into certainly contention for 3rd or 4th.
Yes, they're going to have to get a move on. Same with the men's since he's gone even further down the leg side. Now Kelly was backing away there and might have even been hit on the pad, which would be just as well, because otherwise that would be scooting away down to the fine leg boundary as well. But I mean, Kelly is making it difficult by giving it the shuffle, but the entire game there was being played about 18 inches outside the leg stump, which is a funny form of cricket.
And 14 extras out of 52 without loss. It's just too many, isn't it?
It is. Taylor stopped at the end of her run-up for a conversation with Georgia Davis, which might be along the lines of, are we sure this is working? 52 for none. Taylor this bowled Kelly trying to swing away to the leg side. That one's worked. It's hit the top of the leg stump, which might well have been where she was aiming a few moments ago. So Kelly goes after a lively 29, bowled by Mary Taylor in the 5th over, and it's 52 for 1.
Oh, she's left a lot of runs out there, hasn't she? I think maybe she was just overcomplicating things with all the movement around in the crease. And on this occasion, she just swung through the line and has missed a straight ball. That's better. That's an example, I think, to all the other Bears bowlers. Just full bowl at the base of the stumps. Marie Kelly's gone. As I say, that's happened too often, I think, in Marie Kelly's career. I think she's a player that could maybe have had a lot more really big scores. She's often got in and got herself out. Here comes Charlie Knott, the Australian, who's adapted to life as a Blaze player very quickly. Just having a back check there. The umpires carry a gauge with them and just randomly check a bat when it's brought out. All-rounder, Australian, been in good form, as I say, both with bat and ball, and with the Bryce sisters away, she just slots in at number 3 nicely in this Blaze lineup. 52 for 1 ball left in the 5th, and then Mike will be joined by Carl van Vollenhoven.
Marie Kelly did walk off with the air of somebody who thought she left a few behind, didn't she? 29, didn't hang about. Now Not standing upright in the crease and waiting for Taylor, coming very close to the stumps this time. And Not forces this up to mid-off. It's the end of the 5th over. The Blaze 52 for 1. Not yet to score. Beaumont with 9. Mary Taylor 2 overs, 1 for 17. But it has been an untidy start from the Bears bowlers. Maybe one wicket will help them restore order a little bit. There's going to be another change of bowling. Amu Suran Kumar is going to come and bowl some medium pace, maybe a little bit brisker than that, from the Radcliffe Road end, and Kyle's here.
Hello there. Hello everybody. What started as quite a cold Friday is turning into quite a lovely afternoon.
Dave tells me it's always like this in Nottingham.
Well, it's not like this in South Africa, that is for sure.
I'll take your word for that.
No, yeah, it's always a little bit chilly apart from last week. Nice start so far for the Bears. This is in shortened. Wide outside the off stump. And Beaumont is cutting this outside to sweeper for a single. One thing I did notice straight away was the amount of extras bowled. Yeah. Take that off the score 53 and all of a sudden it's pretty even, really.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't miss by much in a way, but the penalty is very harsh, isn't it, in this form of the game, if it's going just down the leg side, and they were trying to chase Marie Kelly. I think it was Kelly on strike on every occasion. Yeah,
she moves around the crease a lot, looks to give herself quite a lot of room. Fired a couple down the leg side. Suran Kumar in. This is a bit fuller, and this is carved away past backward point. That is a top shot by Not. Just waited for it. Hit it so late, and backward point didn't have a chance as that races away to a boundary. What a way to get off the mark.
We won't see many better time strokes than that in this innings.
Oh, it's a gorgeous shot. Really is. Really is a fantastic shot. One thing I will say is that this is the wicket that they've played on all sort of blast so far at Trent Bridge. So it is a used wicket. I'm assuming it's probably a hybrid. They've used it so many times, so potentially something to look out for later on down the line with spin. Kumar in. This is straight errand. Pushed into mid-wicket. No run. 57 for 1.
Very competitive young cricketer, Amu Suran Kumar. One of a number of real emerging players in this, what is a pretty young Bears squad, really. All-rounder. Batted at various positions in the order last season. Carded at 5 or 6 today. Nat Wraith may be coming above her, but useful medium pacer.
She's in again, and this is defended off the front foot by Not. Back to the bowler. Another dot ball.
I do think it's the second year now of the new Tier 1 and Tier 2 structure. The Tier 1 team's fully professional, the Tier 2 team's hopefully getting to that point. But I think you can see the difference with so many more women's cricketers now being full-time professionals. You could see it change almost month by month last year.
Suran Kumar in. This is full, and this is driven out into the offside. A sweep on the offside boundary is not going to be able to pull that in. Really, really good effort out there, but it's another lovely shot by Not. 61 for 1. Just slightly over pitched, and again, fantastic timing. Once again, get a second boundary in the over. 9 from this one.
Yeah, you don't have to whack it in 2020 cricket. There are other ways.
Yeah, don't just have to bully the bowlers.
No.
Proper cricket shots are still time for that in the game. Loads of time for that. Gorgeous cricket shot. Elbow up. Exactly out of the coaching manual. This one just blocked into the offside, and Beaumont came tearing down the wicket for a quick single there and was turned down by Nott. End of the over, it is 61 for 1 after the Blaze lost the toss and were put into bat.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was ever one there.
No, I don't think so.
There might have been one for Tammy Beaumont. I don't think there was one for Charlie Nott. I think she was very clear about that. But nevertheless, 61 in the first 6. The Blaze will buy that. And now, with the end of the power play, I don't know why they still call it the power play, because it's not as if it's an option. You just get it because it's just there. But anyway, power play it is. But now it's now ended, and now we're into. It doesn't mean, of course, that the fielders can just go wherever they like. There are still have to be 4 inside the 30-yard circle and 5 protecting the boundary.
Yeah, gone are the days when you used to be able to you used to have a bowling power play at the start, and then the batters used to be able to take a power play some stage. I used to love that. I thought that was a really, really good initiative. I thought it was very interesting strategic work.
It's Hannah Baker to bowl leg spin, and her first ball gets Beaumont in a bit of a tangle. Seemed to premeditate that shot to try and scoop it, but ended up, I think, being taken on the body by it.
Yeah, a little bit of turn straight away from Baker. Definitely held up. No 45. Maybe that's why Beaumont wanted to get on the lap sweep.
Baker gives this one plenty of air and is bowled behind her legs. Beaumont trying to nudge that away down towards that vacant fine leg area again, and it's turned from just outside the leg stump and hit the leg stump. And that's a classical leg spin dismissal for Hannah Baker in her first over. Beaumont bowled Baker 10, 61 for 2.
That is a wonderful leg spinner's dismissal. From a leg spinner, there's nothing better than bowling someone round their legs. I don't know about Hannah Baker, but I hate being swept. I hate being paddle swept. So that is a fantastic wicket. Really well bowled. A little bit of flight, a little bit slower through the air, making the lap shot a lot harder. Just under the bat, spins back round and hits the top of leg stump. Really, really good ball. And the Blaze lose their second. They're 61 for 2.
Yeah, that'd be a great feeling. And to get a player of the calibre of Tammy Beaumont as well, all the more so. And I wonder if it's the flight that's done Beaumont as much as anything else, because it was tossed right up. Didn't turn miles, but just enough. It's very cleverly bowled.
Yeah, really well bowled. It's always good. We see wrist spinners in all facets of the game now, especially white ball cricket, doing really, really well across both men and women's games.
Another talented young cricketer. Baker bowls to Georgia Elwis at number 4, and she's missed the ball that's coming behind her pad, or perhaps taken on the pad, trying to move that away to the leg side.
Is that 3 balls, 3 sweeps, one being a wicket, the other 2 hitting them on their body?
Or the body, yeah. So they've got a plan, and there isn't. I can't. Are we getting another concussion check? I think for Nat Wraith. She keeps heading it, or somebody keeps heading it. No, I was just looking. So there's not. By the rail, there's not sort of a fielder there we can see, so they've kind of left the target there and said, look, if you can sweep
go ahead
down there, then off you go. And nobody's managed it yet.
No.
Now, who wants a concussion check this time?
Yeah,
it's going to be Georgia Elwis.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is. It must have brushed her helmet in some way, but it wasn't almost from the conventional sense that it hit her flush on the helmet.
No, I don't think so.
It may have brushed off a glove or a forearm off the pad and hit her in the grill, but there's a lot of safety checks that go around, which is obviously really important.
Yeah, it's worth doing for the one time in 1,000 that it matters these days, so that's fair enough.
I think the saying you'd rather be safe than sorry is the way to go there.
Yeah, tell you what, though, as a leg spinner, you'd be going out and saying, "What did you do today?" I hit an international on the helmet. Oh, did you? This one's really tossed up high, and Elwis will get a run down to long on, and the first run off Baker, 62 for 2. And Elwis away with 1, just restraining the Blaze a little bit in the first over after the power play. Brightened up a bit in the last 10 minutes. I think it's going to be like that all day, but no rain really in the forecast now for the rest of the day. Baker skids this one on a little bit to Nott, who wasn't really pressing forward towards it, and just nudges it into the leg side. this innings already in only 7 overs has gone through moods. Started very slowly. Had Marie Kelly shuffling about the crease, got the scoreboard moving. Now Breaker's putting the brakes on. Knott goes back and slaps a slightly short ball. Batters almost collided, going for the first run. And that might have even denied him a second run. Throw from the deep has hit the stumps from Chloe Brewer, but they had decided to stick at 1 anyway. So just 2 singles from the over, 63 for 2 after 7 overs. And it's a really good start from Hannah Baker.
Yeah, that's a fantastic over from Hannah Baker. Just changed the flight and pace really, really well and picked up a really big wicket off Tammy Beaumont. Blaze after getting off to sort of a flyer. 52 after the first 5, then just sort of stalling. 63 for 2 after 7 and changing bowling. Georgia Davis sports into the attack.
There's captain, the former police officer. As captain with real verve last season to get this, say, a very young squad through to the final, where they gave Surrey a decent game as well at the Oval.
Davis in to bowl, tosses this one up and reverse sweep. No one again behind the wicketkeeper. As Charlie Knott gets down, she's a very, very busy cricketer. She'll sweep, she'll reverse sweep, she'll run really hard between the wickets. She's not a real power player, like in the sense she relies on timing and then deflecting quite a lot, but scores really quickly. She's 11 off 9 here, 65 for 2 as Davis is in, and this is pushed back to her. No run.
There's just a little bit for the 2 spinners already, isn't
Yep.
there? Just a little bit there for Davis.
Yeah, not so much spin, maybe a little bit of hold. It's Davis in again, and this is through. Has it bowled her?
Yeah.
It's bowled her. Well, everyone's just sort of stopped and been muted. Got through the defences of Charlie Knott, little bit of spin, and the Bears lose their third at 65 for 3, and at the moment, spinners for the win.
Well, that seemed to almost skid straight on.
Yeah.
Pitched about off stump and hit off stump, which was a neat variation. It completely confounded Charlie Knott. And suddenly the 2 spinners, Knott's pushing that away to the leg side, and it's pitched off stump and gone straight on and hit the top of off stump. And that really did confuse a player who looked in very good touch. So suddenly 3 down for 65 and a little bit of a change of emphasis.
Yeah, spin looks like it would and is going to be a bit of a tricky customer this afternoon. As I said, it is a used wicket, so potentially will be quite a lot of spin, a lot of hold, maybe a little bit slower. But I tell you what, it's going to be very difficult if some are going to go and then others will just hold on with the arm. I tell you what, it's taken Davis 3 balls to get a wicket, and now there's 2 new batters at the crease.
Well, Knott didn't play the previous ball all that certainly either. That one, she was pushing away to the leg side, and it sort of didn't come off the middle of the bat. But the one there that's bowled her, she was certainly looking to push that to mid-wicket with the spin that you would anticipate from Georgia Davis, and it didn't happen.
Brings Ella Claridge to the crease. As Davis is in with her, and off the front foot she's defending this and spun a little bit. I think it's come off her thigh pad and no run. So the Blaze just sort of stalling a little bit here. Spin making life quite difficult. Change in field mid-wicket goes to short third, leaving big open gap on the leg side, and it's exactly where the ball has gone. Goes to square leg and Claridge gets off the mark. 66 for 3, 1 remaining in the 8th over. Davis again really tidy first spell here. Crowd just starting to build up a little bit, maybe people finishing work a little bit earlier. Got tickets for this evening's game have come along. Weather's better than anticipated as Davis in goes really full, and this is driven through the offside out to sweeper in front of the Fox Road stand. That's the end of the over. The end of that one at 67 for 3. The Bears lose another one in consecutive overs.
Tell you what, it's a long day in the mascot costume.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Is that a fox? Is that a fox, Dave? I wonder where
No,
David
squirrel.
gone, actually.
It's a squirrel.
It's a squirrel. Yes, it's a bit of a long tail for a fox. Yes. You see, I'd made the connection there, and I want to reassure our listeners that Dave Bracegirdle going off the commentary and the squirrel appearing are not connected. I can assure you that Dave Bracegirdle will be back in the fullness of time and not at all muffled by the squirrel head.
I would pay a lot of money to see Dave in that costume.
Wouldn't we all? But, well, there you go. So, yes, it'd be a long day in that, 80 overs.
I think it would have been a longer day a couple of weeks ago in the heat wave.
Yes, I should think so. God, you'd lose a couple of pounds then, wouldn't you? Here's Baker bowling the first ball of the 9th over to Elwes, who plays it very respectfully away square on the offside. And there isn't a run. 67 for 3. Baker, just 22, has had a little bit of England experience as well in the last year or so. This is swept by Elwes, got down into position early, and she'll get a run to Stonehouse at deep backward square leg, scurrying into the edge of the circle.
Yeah. Just getting on the sweep again. Same field, no one at short of fine leg or 45 in the ring, so if you do get any bat on it, there are runs there to be had, although it's at a high risk.
Baker to Claridge, the right-hander. Oh, that popped. And Claridge was down quite early to sweep that, and looked as though she had to make a little bit of an adjustment, as that just bounced a bit.
Yeah, a little bit of kick off the surface,
yeah.
Maybe a little bit more topspin put on that one by Baker.
Bowling with nice control, the leg spinner. Second over, only gone for 4 singles so far. And tries again here to Elwes, who can only push this straight back to the bowler. Do you reckon the men's team coaches are watching this? Because the last 2 or 3 overs, the way it's gone for the spinners, they'll be playing presumably on this pitch a bit later on. I think I'd want to be paying attention. There's a short, fine leg gone in. Baker gives this so much air, it arrives on the full toss, and Elwes bunts it down to long on for 1 with a straight bat.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yes.
I would have thought that both men's coaches will be watching this. If I was a spinner, I'd be looking at this and trying to get myself in the line of sight of my coach, saying, look, it's spinning.
Look at this, yeah. Flexing your fingers in front of the coach. Look at that.
Yeah.
Let's have a go on that.
It's coming out nicely. Please, coach.
70 for 3. Baker bowls. Turns that one. That was the wrong one, I think. And that's pushed away by Claridge, square on the offside. Another good over. 70 for 3. Just 9 runs from the first 3 overs from Baker and Davis since the power play ended. Elwes 4 and Claridge 2, but have gone into reconnaissance mode against the spinners a bit.
Yep, scoring becoming really challenging with the spin. 70 for 3. The Bears will be very happy with this. They've pulled it back massively, considering that of those 70 runs, 14 of them are extras. The Blaze are really under the pump here. Just almost need a bit of a rebuild here by Claridge and Elwes. It's going to be Davis to continue. Elwes shuffling across and gets on the reverse sweep. She's got enough of that, and that should and will run across for 4. It's a lovely shot by Georgia Elwes, and that brings up a boundary first ball of the over to release some pressure.
Yeah, it's a canny stroke. Again, the Bears, it's quite brave from Georgia Davis to say, OK, I'm leaving you that gap. If you're good enough to play the reverse sweep against the ball that we know is just gripping and turning a bit, then there's the challenge, and she took it.
Davis in again, and she's decided to take the challenge on again, this time for no run, picking up backward point. So they've gone for, as a field position, you can have the mid-wicket or the short third, which they're now employing the short third. The mid-wicket's there to try stop the little dab into the leg side and build a little bit of pressure. But if a batter wants to go on the reverse sweep, you've almost got to try plug that gap as best you can. There's Davis into Elwes, who's chipping this straight back to the bowler, and that's a wicket. Davis picks up her second. The Blaze are losing wickets at regular intervals, and it is becoming really, really challenging to build any sort of momentum. Good bowling by the Bears. The Blaze are 74 for 4.
Well, it's cleverly thought out again, because as you described, moving Meg Austin across to short third conceding that gap on the leg side at mid-wicket, and straight away Elwes, understandably, he's trying to turn the ball into that gap and has leading edged another one that's gone straight on.
Fantastic
That's really well worked out there from Georgia Davis. That was just a little bit back of a length and just persuaded. You could see as soon as Elwes played it, threw a head back to say, I've been done there. That's very cleverly done, and the Blaze losing altitude here after a very good start.
They are really good bowling, just good cricket awareness from everybody involved there. Just not a shot in anger, just looking to run down, hit it into the gap, maybe run 2. Good bowling by Davis. Emma Jones walks to the crease. Again, so much experience in this Blaze batting lineup. They're going to require all of it, aren't they?
They are. Well, in the first 3 games, the Bears they batted first rather, and scored about the same score, just over 160, and couldn't defend it in any of the 3 games.
Correct.
Here, it looked like they might be conceding a lot more than that 20 minutes ago. Maybe not now.
Davis in and off the back foot. Jones is trying to push this into the offside, and it just, again, very, very similar to the ball that got out Charlie Knott.
Yep.
Just skids on and just making it really difficult. You can't sort of set yourself. Davis in gathers, and this is spun back into Jones, who's pushing this down the ground. Too long on, and they trot through for a single. So Jones gets off the strike, off the mark. 75 for 4.
We've certainly seen enough to see that playing the spinners today is not necessarily going to be straightforward. They've bowled a real skill.
They have Davis in, and this is short outside the off stump, and it's dropped onto the offside by Claridge. Out to sweeper, and they come through for a single, and that brings the end of the over. So at the end of this, the halfway stage, the Blaze are 76 for 4 after losing the toss, being put into bat.
Richard Wilford's going to join you now for the next little while.
Look forward to it. The Bears very much in the pound seats as it stands, picking up wickets at regular intervals. Spin definitely looks a challenge on what is a used wicket here on a Friday afternoon at Trent Bridge. There's a scattering of players, supporters around. Yeah, quite a good turnout. I'm sure it will only get busier for the men's game. Richard?
Yeah, Hannah Baker to continue. Good to join you, Carl. Those 14 extras sit rather high on the board, don't they? As first ball of a new over is very full, and just managed to flick it off her pads and square out on the leg side, picked up there by Stonehouse, and they'll come through for just the single. 77 for 4. So, well, there's been 25 balls since the end of the power play, and it's been 16 for 3.
Yeah. So a game of 2 halves, isn't it?
Yeah. And the 1 over of spin in the power play didn't give us any indication this was going to happen, because Pavley got fetched. But, it'll be Jones to await this next delivery from Baker. Again, it's full. She lifts it over short mid-wicket. It will bounce 10 yards short of the boundary fielder. And they come through for another single. 78 for 4. I don't think Mike even made any mention of the fact you're a former Bear.
No, he didn't. Played in the Royal London back in 2021, sort of the first year that it all changed a bit.
Baker again full draws the leading edge, and it'll squirt down to short third. Suram Kumar does the fielding, but that wasn't a confident shot either from Ella Claridge.
That's well bowled. That's really well bowled by the leg spin. A bit of turn.
It is your art, leg spin, so admiring the fact that Hannah Baker is putting it in the right place. The next ball is driven back to her, and she's caught. Another caught and bowled. Trying to force the pace there, Claridge, and hits it straight back into the hands of Baker, who, like a skipper, Georgia Davis, now has taken 2 wickets. And the Blaze, well, the collapse since the end of the power play continues as they drop to 78 for 5.
Well, this is a really good piece of bowling. The ball before, a little bit flatter, a little bit faster, spins, takes the outside edge and goes down to third. This one a little bit slower, a little bit straighter, and pushed straight back at her. Really good catch by Baker. And, well, Ella Claridge has got to go. She's gone for 4, and the Bears are in beg your pardon. The Blaze are in all sorts of trouble. They've lost their fifth, 78 for 5.
It's interesting, isn't it? I don't think we're not talking about there being a heap of spin, but what they found very effectively. Just doing that little bit, and both Hannah Baker and Georgia Davis have found the right length as much as anything to where they can do a bit of damage.
Exactly. 2 for 7 and 2.4 overs. It's absolutely fantastic bowling. Where do you see that in T20 cricket nowadays?
Yeah.
It's just you don't see it at all.
It's doubly so for a leg spinner.
No.
Control.
Yeah, fantastic control. She hasn't bowled a bad ball. She's bowled wicket to wicket on a wicket that's offering a little bit to the spin.
So, Lucy Hyam is next to the crease, number 7 on the back of her shirt, and she waits for a shorter ball, is able to just flick it towards mid-wicket. It's into a gap. There's quite a distance for the fielders to come. They'll come back for 2. It's tight, but they make it. It was Jones running to the danger end at the non-strikers end of the ground. Decent throw, but they're through for 2, 80 for 5. It's like a murky afternoon, but the cloud is high enough to encourage us that we'll get through this game intact. And Baker is in again. That one she pushes through a bit quicker, and it cramps Hyam. Comes off her body and drops out in the offside.
Fantastic bowling. Really, really good bowling by Hannah Baker. 80 for 5 now. The end of 11. Just to go back to it, after 5 overs, the Blaze were 52 for 1. They lost a wicket in that over. And since then, it has been all the Bears. It's been all spin twins. Really, really good bowling by the Bears.
I know she had a really expensive first over, Carl, but I'm surprised Caris Pavley hasn't been brought back at this point. Because if she gets into a rhythm, bowling the slow left arm, then she can make a contribution as well. Instead, they're going to smuggle through an over of Anu Kumar.
Yeah, I would have thought continue with spin. I think pace on. Not that Surin Kumar's bowled poorly. She bowled all right. She bowled a couple of balls that went for 4 off the bat of some good batting by Charlie Knott. But spin looks incredibly difficult to play, and you almost just want to keep the Blaze under pressure, not let them get away. And Surin Kumar join in the party. One from the Radcliffe Road, and this is played out on the offside by Jones, and they come through for a single. 81 for 5. Yeah, still loads of spin options for the Bears, so wonder if we can get seam done now and then at the death bowl spin when it's difficult to give it a bit of a whack. Maybe that's a little bit more challenging. Maybe that's the skipper's idea.
But then Stonehouse and Taylor are pretty good at the death. Taylor bowls a lot of off-pace stuff.
Exactly.
So she's got plenty of options at the moment as Georgia Davis.
Surin Kumar in, gathers, and this is short and slower ball pushed into the offside. Hyman get through for a single. 82 for 5. We might see a lot of this from all seamers, starting in the ladies' game, moving into the men's game, off the back of this. A lot of slower balls into the deck.
Yeah, pace off
into the wicket, I think, is probably the way forward. The Blaze just need a bit of consolidating here. This one's in and hit away on the offside again. And this will also only be a single. So 3 balls, 3 singles. A little bit of consolidation needed. Build a bit of a platform. Still 8 overs to go after this. Don't want to not use your allocated overs. Give yourself a chance. Get 120, 130. Give yourself something to bowl at. Don't want to be 90, 100 for 8 in the 14th over and then 10 and 11 have to go and knock it around at the back end.
Fine leg sent deep, so that means that long on comes on to the circle's edge to field at mid on Meg Austin. Be opening the batting later for the Bears.
Surin Kumar wearing the number 10. Running away from us is in, and this is straight defended back to the bowler. That one well delivered.
The one bowler right at the start of the Warwickshire innings, the one bowler the Blaze won't want to compromise too much pace-wise, it would be Grace Ballingy, in that you want her to go full bore and see if she can get that bit of swing that she often gets in the first 3 or 4 overs.
Yeah, definitely. With the new white ball does swing a bit. Grace, I'm sure, will be quite confident she can hopefully get a couple early wickets, as Kumar's in, and this is chipped up just over the bowler. Goodness me, that would have been 3 caught-in bowls in 3 overs. I'm not sure if she's rolled her fingers down the side of this, but Lucy Hyam was early on it, playing it out in front of her pad, and fingertips must have got something on the ball, but that was very close to the Blaze losing their 6th.
Hema Sirikumar can only be about 5'4". If she'd been 5'8", she might have got quite close to that.
Really good catch that would have been as in here, and this is slower ball played out to backward point, and that will be the end of the over. So again, a good one. 84 for 5.
Looks like Caris Pavley might be trotting in to come back into the attack here. We'll see. There's a couple of options. She might just be running from one field, deep fielding position, to another. She is. She's going to go past the umpire. And Georgia Davis may well be bringing Alexa Stonehouse back at this point, which, to your point, Carl, would suggest that she may well want to keep back the over of Hannah Baker and the 2 overs she's got to bowl herself until a little bit later. But that was good support, therefore, from Sirikumar. Has only conceded 4 runs in that over. A lot of variation of pace, of angle, of width. That last one very full, but well outside off stump. Not a wide, but far enough out to limit the batter.
Also slower ball as well, asking the batter to go, look, create the pace. You know, it's really, really difficult on a slow wicket.
So it's the left arm pace of Stonehouse now. Draws an edge from Hyam that will roll down to Sirikumar at short third, and there's no run. 84 for 5, the Blaze. We've had 1 ball of the 13th over, that having been 61 for 1 at the end of the power play, 6 overs in. So the next 6 produced just 23 runs and 4 wickets.
It's crazy when you describe it in those simple, basic ways.
It's amazing drop-off, isn't it? This next delivery is just neatly nudged into the offside, into a gap for a single by Hyam. To be fair, Marie Kelly's the only player who's really looked comfortable in striking the ball.
Yeah, the rest have all struggled, really. Kelly 29 of 22, Beaumont then 10, Charlie Knott 11, Elwes 8, Claridge 4. So really Kelly, the next highest scorer after Kelly, ironically, is extras at 14.
Yep. That'll frustrate the Bears, who of course are playing desperate today, having lost their first 4 fixtures. Stonehouse in, she's made room for herself here. Jones opening up her body and clouts it through mid-wicket. And it wasn't too far to the right of Caris Pavley, who's a quick fielder, but the timing was excellent. And it was a boundary from the moment it left the bat.
Yeah, lovely shot. We saw this from Marie Kelly, moving around in the crease a lot. She's moved around there, opened up the leg side, almost cleared her front leg and swatted this away for a boundary. 89 for 5.
Emma Jones up to 8. She awaits Stonehouse again. This time she stays upright in a normal batting position. Is happy to drive the ball up to long on for a single. And that takes the score to 90 for 5. A couple of balls left in the 13th over. Smattering of spectators. That will grow during the second half of the game, I'm sure. It would have been nice to have a sunny, balmy afternoon.
Yeah, it would have been lovely.
A couple of weeks ago. Stonehouse, that's an off-pace ball out the back of the hand, and it's pushed into the offside again by Hyam for a single. 91 for 5. I mean, I wonder how much disguise there is, Carl, when from here you could see on release it was out the back of the hand.
Yeah, I did think that as well. Really lovely execution of the back of the hand slow ball. They are challenging to bowl, but I think that's the same feeling that I get when I bowl my googly. My gran picks it and she lives in South Africa.
Making room again here is Jones. I don't think she got anything on that. Maybe an edge onto the pad. Yeah, it's not signalled as a leg bye. They come through for a single down to Meg Austin at short leg. End of a more productive over. 92 for 5, and if anything that was a further indicator that pace off is the way to go. So we'll see what Georgia Davis chooses to do. 7 overs to go. The Blaze 92 for 5. I mean, 6 and over from here. 134. They'd take 140 right now, wouldn't they?
They'd bite their hand off for 140 at this stage. They really, really would. Blaze, after the power play, looked like they were going to get close to 180, 200, and now really are just stuttering along. And straight away, very similar to what you've just said there, spin straight back on. Definitely the way to go. Davis to continue, 2 for 10 in her 2. Emma Jones on strike, 92 for 5. No field at mid-wicket, and this is swept away in the gap between deep square leg and deep mid-wicket, and they should be able to get back for a comfortable 2 in the end. Good running between the wickets, 94 for 5.
Yeah, good boundary fielding though from Chloe Brewer. He got to the ball as quickly as she could. There were always 2 there.
Yeah.
But you always have to be a bit careful when it's going over the used wickets and the fresh wickets as well. It can take up a bit of pace.
Davis in, and this is swept away a lot firmer, and that will be 4. Lovely batting from Emma Jones. Really, really good. Sweeps this away. It's not a bad ball at all by Davis, but really well executed sweep shot. And the Blaze are starting to fight back a bit.
Almost made it all the way to the Dave Bracegirdle Old People's Home on the other side of the road there, that one.
I don't know when he's going to move in there. It's soon, isn't it, Dave? Isn't it? I think you've got a move-in date later on this year after the summer. Davis, 6 from the first 2 balls. Is this one a bit slower and outside off stump, pushed into cover very firmly. Come through for a single.
I did check with them and I said, look, he's told me that he's too young to move in, and they said, I assure you, sir, that's not the reason. So I don't know.
Davis in goes real full, and this is dragged onto the leg side by Hyam. They get through for a single, and that brings up the Blazers 100. Comes in the 14th over. 100 for 5 now.
They'll still be thinking 150. If Emma Jones is there at the end, that's the best possibility for the Blaze of getting there.
Davis in a little bit shorter, and Jones paddling this down to deep square leg, and they trot through for a comfortable single. 101 for 5.
The challenge I always think for the off-spinner in this situation is the very, very different statures of the 2 batters, which means you can't use the same length for both of them.
No, Emma Jones is really tall. Hyam a little bit shorter. This is pushed down the ground by Hyam. Too long on, and they almost trot a single. The end of that one is 102 for 5.
Yeah, so you say a little shorter.
They're
going to stand next to each other now, and the top of her helmet doesn't quite come to the chin.
That's how I feel with most of the people I play with.
That's why your leg breaks come down with snow on.
That's so true. Couldn't agree with you more. Someone whose leg spin doesn't come down with slope is Hannah Baker. She's bowled beautifully this afternoon. 2 for 9. It looks like she's going to be brought back into the attack to bowl her last.
She's had 1 or 2 niggles this year, Hannah Baker, but at her best we can see how fine a performer is. You can see why she has had an England cap in the ODI game, as indeed Georgia Davis has as well. Got a lot of potential. Baker to start her final over into Hyam, who's looking to sweep and appeal for LBW. And then that Wraith almost trips over, well, actually he does trip over the bat of Lucy Hyam, who was swinging it from side to side, waiting for the next delivery as Wraith tried to gather the ball, which is in front of her. Stumbles. Baker comes in. Again, that's down the leg side, it'll be signalled a wide. Again, an attempted sweep by Hyam, 102 for 5.
Been really impressed with Baker's control and the use of the variation of flight. Been superb.
This one's a floated ball, and it's lifted in towards the leg side. It won't carry to the fielder at deep square leg. They'll come down for a single to Stonehouse, who didn't field it tidily in the end. She got quite close to the bounce of the ball, which didn't make it easy for her, and had to fend it off. 104 for 5.
Yeah, we've seen loads of batsmen just try sweep Baker here. Not to, I'd say, great success. It's resulted in the wicket of Tammy Beaumont and quite a few dot balls.
Georgia Davis, captaining the side from long off, isn't speeding things up in this over. That's a bit of a conflab, and then she's driven to mid-on, who's come in from long on. So the change they made worked. It prevented a run.
It did. It's always nice when that happens. It doesn't often happen, but it is nice when you change the field and it goes straight there.
Georgia's way out by the building site. This is a long way outside off stump, and Hannah Baker is quite fortunate that that's not signalled a wide. Emma Jones left it alone, thinking it would be called. You'd be glad to get away with that one, wouldn't you, Cole?
Oh, every day of the week. That's a bonus. It's a bonus, that.
Baker in again and lifted that. So this is where the field change doesn't work, because over the mid-on fielder and down to long on. There's no chance of Georgia Davis making 45 yards to go and gather that ball. That's a really good strike from Jones. Another boundary, 108 for 5.
Yeah, really well bowled. A little bit of extra flight by Hannah Baker and slammed away down the ground by Jones. I'm going to leave you after this ball, and you're going to be back with the old Mr. Girdle.
Final ball for Baker is cut behind square. This could well be 4 as well. There's a chase around the boundary, which isn't going to be 1, denting the figures of Hannah Baker, who will finish with 2 for 19 from her 4 overs. But the accelerator pedal is now being pressed by the Blaze. Thanks to Cole van Hollenhoven, who'll be back in the second half of the game. As Dave Bracegirdle sidles sylph-like into position, barely breaking the surface of the water like an Olympic diver. As we go into the final 5 overs of the innings.
You've had a few jabs already today, haven't you? Thank you.
Do you know what I think? I think Carl's bringing the worst out of me, if the truth be known.
He's a bad influence. Interesting phase of the afternoon here. Amu Siran Kumar's going to come on. 2 overs, none for 13.
But this partnership has just regathered the momentum, hasn't it? The Blaze could be thinking 150 now, maybe 150 plus.
Lucy Hyam on strike on 9 down the leg side, and she's just flicked this one away out towards deep backward square, and she'll get a boundary. Lucy Hyam bumped up 1 in the order. She's come in ahead of Prisha Thanawala, the youngster, just adding that little bit of experience here. She's a nuggety hard competitor, as we know. She's played some nice shots supporting Emma Jones. Boundary from the first ball of the over.
The sun's found a way through. It's glorious out there just for now. There's lots of clouds around, but it's lovely sunshine just for the moment.
Very welcome, isn't it? Here's Siran Kumar in again, and once more slightly leg side-ish, and worked behind square by Lucy Hyam, and she's going to rush back for the second. Good throw in from the deep by Chloe Brewer. Ellie Freeborn whips off a bail, but Hyam is back, so Blaze pushing on. Sides met only last week, Richard, at Edgbaston. The Bears batted first, got 158, and it took until the very final over before the Blaze got over the line. It was a thrilling match there. Could have something similar here.
Not as thrilling as this fixture here last season.
The tie.
Yeah, what a game that was.
Siran Kumar in again from this end. Oh, it's just chipped up into the air to mid-wicket, and they'll scamper through for a single. 119 for 5. I'm sure the Scottish squad are watching intently. I've a funny feeling Catherine Bryce was there at the end. Splendid innings, just couldn't get the final run. It ended in a tie, but both sides went all the way to finals day, where they met in the eliminator. Siran Kumar bowls heaved away onto the leg side, and that's nicely struck by Emma Jones. She'll get another boundary and moves on to 30. And certainly since Marie Kelly went, this has been the only innings of substance. Top scorer in the innings now for Emma Jones.
Yeah, she's gone through the gears really well in the last 3 or 4 overs, and this format of the game, you need a couple of decent partnerships, you need a couple of decent scores. Now, they haven't yet got the individual really going. Kelly at 29, that's a start, but she'd have wanted more.
Yeah, she left a lot out there, didn't she, Marie Kelly? We've got the old Lou Bager on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slammed by Jones again past the bowler. Down the ground. Georgia Davis, I beg your pardon, down below us, doing the fielding.
Previous ball away, it was a bold effort from Caris Pavley in the deep to stop it off, but she completed the dive with a big proper forward almost somersault, or a gambol as we would consider it in the West Midlands. She performed a gambol in the outfield.
Final ball of the 16th. Siran Kumar, right arm, medium, fast bowls to Lucy Hyam, just drops it on the leg side. She'll go to 17, extends this partnership to 47 from 32. They've really combined nicely. 125 for 5 as we go into the last 4.
Well, it was what they needed most of all was a significant partnership. They've got it. 4 overs to go, and they'll be, with 5 wickets still in hand, feeling considerably more optimistic about what they might be able to get. We were talking them through to mid-130s because of the way they were batting at the time, and the Bears were bowling with control. Right now, 8 and over would get them into very decent shape indeed.
Yeah.
You'd be looking at 157, 160. 160 now would be on the cards if these two bat through to the end. Mary Taylor's going to come on. She's a good death bowler, a lot of variety of pace. Comes in and bowls a very, very floaty full toss. I mean, barely had the pace to get down the other end. It was that much of a slower ball. It's clubbed for a single by Hyam out to Cow Corner. And 26 for 5.
Yeah, she got 3 wickets in last week's match, Mary Taylor. 3 for 22 from her 4 overs.
She was effective in the closing overs of that innings. Comes into bowl to Jones, 31, who lashes this from outside off stump out to long off for a single. That's where the Bears skipper Georgia Davies is, but now she'll jog in to come back inside the circle. I always find it a little bit puzzling when a captain puts themselves in that position. She's in a more communicative position there.
Yeah.
This time it's Hyam, who wants to make room to go down the leg side but can only jab it round the corner, picked up by Meg Austin at short fine. And that is the 50 partnership between Lucy Hyam and Emma Jones, when it was much needed by the Blaze. It's come up in 35 deliveries. They had claps from 52 for 1 to 78 for 5, but this duo have got them to 128 for 5 with 21 balls to add some more. Taylor approaches once more, and a big reverse launch attempted by Jones, which goes about 2 yards ultimately with some bat, some pad. She'll be wondering why she didn't play an orthodox shot now.
Yeah,
Because she's been good at those. She's been effective.
She was there at the death last week, 27 not out to guide the Blaze over the line. She made 24 on Sunday against Durham.
Bears haven't found a way to wheel her out yet. Another much slower ball, an appeal for LBW, and the umpire is giving it. It was a bit of a slow death coming from the umpire. I wasn't quite sure what she was indicating. Eventually the hand went up high enough, and they do find a way through Jones. She's gone for 32. LBW to Mary Taylor, and the Blaze are 128 for 6.
Yeah, Rose Dovey, the umpire at the far end, former Sri Lankan international, off-break bowler. A little bit of the old Steve Buckner's about that one, wasn't there? Have a look and have another look, and then if you can't find a reason not to give it, then raise the finger and send her on her way. But that's been a fine innings from Emma Jones. 32 from just 22 balls, 5 fours, and putting on a half century with Lucy Hyam there. It's got the Blaze up to a position where they can, all being well with the following win, push on and get topside of 140, the 128 for 6, 1 ball left in the 17th.
It was almost Rudy Kurtzen slow.
Okay. for all you younger listeners.
It's not that long ago. It's not that long ago that he was officiating. But
Steve Buckner's the same, really, isn't it? That was my reference point.
The bowler was halfway on the run up for the next delivery by the time it was given out. But Mary Taylor there demonstrating the variety of pace, also getting the ball very, very full during this over. So in comes Prisha Thanawala.
Yeah, getting the reward for aiming at the stumps as well. Teenager Prisha Thanawala made her blast debut at the weekend.
It's an interesting situation to come into, isn't it? You've got a fair amount of freedom with 19 balls to go. It's not for her to be worrying about how many wickets are left just at the moment. And Mary Taylor comes in with another floaty full toss, which she turns off her pads. They'll certainly get 1. Oh, they're going to take 2 on the throw of Stonehouse, and she's judged that well, Thanawala. Does well to get back. 130 for 6 at the end of the 17th. Thanawala has 2, and Hyam 19.
It was a bit of Emilio Gay first ball like that one, wasn't it? Help yourself to a nice high full toss and get yourself off the mark. 130 for 6 in the Test match game. A half century today has since gone. Just seen a replay of that LBW decision, and I don't think Emma Jones or the Blaze can have any complaints about that. Hit her on the bended knee, right in front of all three. Georgia Davis to bowl her final over. 3 overs under her belt, 2 for 20. Bowls now, and Hyam's just chipped this up, and this should be the end of Lucy Hyam. So the 2 set players follow each other back. Lucy Hyam now falls at the start of the 18th over, going down for the slog sweep. She just paddled it round the corner to Mary Taylor. Gone for 19, faced 19 balls. Just the 1-4 for Lucy Hyam, but that was a very handy partnership.
It was the first of the wickets to be assisted. They'd all been unassisted, 2 Courton bowls, 3 bowls and an LBW. So Georgia Davis with her third of the day as well. She and Hannah Baker have bowled very well. They've set the tone that the Blaze slower bowlers are going to have to follow.
Well, this is nosebleed territory for Grace Ballinger. Coming in at 9, Charlie Phillips and the youngster Maria Andrews still to come. It's always saying she doesn't get enough opportunities with the bat here. Grace, she's not exactly got all afternoon, but she's got the best part of 3 overs here, just to see what she can do. Made just 1. She only came in the final over on Sunday against Durham. Hold out just before the end. So Davis with a 3 for, pitches this one up. Nice looking shot from Grace Ballinger, turns it to mid-wicket. The left-handers away first ball. 131 for 7.
Is it fair to, if we're being honest, is it slightly high for Grace, 9?
Not if you talk to Grace.
I don't know. No, I could well imagine.
Well, I'm not going to say she's batting too high. All-round broadcaster, author, podcaster, left-arm fast bowler. She's doing a lot of stuff for the BBC Sport website now. She's in the Cricketer magazine with an article this week. This is driven down the ground by Thanawala for her 3rd run. 132 for 7.
She's irritatingly good at most things.
She is. Commentator as well. She's been up and done a number of games with me this season, including the men's game on Sunday afternoon. All round good egg. 132 for 7, driven by the Birmingham native Grace Ballinger into the offside, and there's no run.
In fact, she did a stint when I was with you in the championship earlier this season.
She's a blue nose as well, like your good self, isn't she? Ballinger on strike, and she nudges this back to Davis, who's only got 1 ball left in her stint now. These are good figures for the Bears captain. 3 for 22. Final ball. Bowls, and Ballinger comes out of her crease, pushes it into the gap on the offside for a single. She'll keep the strike. So 2 overs to go. Only 3 runs from that over. That's really good from Georgia Davis. 4 overs. 3 for 23. And the Blaze are 133 for 7 with 2 overs left.
So it's the one question, and Kyle and I were a little bit taken aback by it earlier, is given the fact that the other 2 spinners have been so effective, it's surprising to us that Caris Pavley didn't come back. I know she got clouted in the 1 over that she bowled in the power play, but the circumstances outside the power play were a little bit different. So a little bit surprised, but be Stonehouse with this over, and then presumably Mary Taylor with the final over to see this innings through to a close with the ball.
And you made a good point as well as soon as you came on comms about the number of extras. 15, and they're all wides.
It's enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's enough.
Well, it is. Take that off. And the extra runs scored from the extra deliveries.
Stonehouse comes in to bowl, and Ballinger just backs away slightly and drops a bat on it and defends it up. Well, the Blaze would love to get to 150.
Yeah.
But I think Grace Ballinger understanding there are some limitations to what's to follow.
Well, she won't want to get out to a left arm quick, will she either?
No, these 2 could be considered rivals to some extent as well. Stonehouse pushed into the offside by Ballinger. They come through for a quick single, which they'll get because it's gone through the hands of the fielder. And as a result, Pavley unable to stop it. They can come through for that single. And probably wants Thanawala on strike if possible.
More of the pavilion exposed than you saw for the county championship game, Rich. The get in there, I think we're going to get some sort of an idea what it's ultimately going to look like.
It's going to be handsome, that's what it's going to be. Round the wicket comes Stonehouse to the youngster Thanawala, who plays and misses to a short ball outside off stump, well taken by Nat Wraith, standing up to the stumps.
It's not quite the Edgbaston Pavilion. I mean, that was a major construction, wasn't it, when that went up?
Certainly, it has no connection with the old building at all,
no.
which this keeps a connection. Oh, now she's trying to get into position to ramp here and puts Nat Wraith at some danger. As she misses it, it'll bounce off Wraith and it'll come through for a bye. 16th extra, but no blame on keeper there, because a view would have been hindered by Thanawala. 2 balls in this over, 135 for 7.
I think we're going to have a good game on our hands here.
Yeah, the Bears are going to find somebody to make runs, because there's been a very inconsistent batting lineup so far. This is driven by Ballinger, fielded by Stonehouse in a follow-through. Ballinger had taken the first 6 paces of a run. But, was able to regain her ground whilst Stonehouse regained her feet. Final ball from Alexa Stonehouse. It's been a good over. Slower ball, driven into the offside. It's a lovely shot through extra cover. Chase around the boundary for Hannah Baker that she won't be able to get there. Well, if Grace Ballinger wants to show some batting pedigree, that's the right way about it. That's one of the best shots of the day.
Lovely stroke. She'll enjoy that one.
Proper
Caressed
cricket.
it, caressed it away through the offside. And away for 4 runs. We've talked about this hybrid pitch and how pace off has very much favoured the Bears bowlers. Just looking at the blaze, obviously they'll have Grace Ballinger, Charlie Phillips, pace on, Emma Jones, pace on, Georgia Elwis. She'll mix it up a little bit. The principal spinners, Lucy Hyam, the off-break bowler, and Maria Andrews, just her second game for the Blaze, the slow left armer. It's going to be Mary Taylor to finish. Got a bit of sunshine to conclude the innings. Final over. Can the Blaze get 11 to get to 150? Floated up there, and Thanawala gets it out into the offside for a single. Says over to you, Grace.
The slow full toss has become a key part of the Mary Taylor artillery, it appears.
5 balls left, 140 for 7. Emma Jones top scored with 32, really punchy innings. Marie Kelly 29 likewise at the top. And Lucy Hyams 19, 140 for 7. Ballinger, seeing that the leg side field was set deep, has just chipped this down the ground to mid-on, and they scamper back for 2. That's good running from Prisha Thanawala to come back for 2. Supported her mate there, 142 for 7.
She made a really early decision that she was going for 2 there. If she goes full ball for 2, then Georgia Davis hasn't really got a price. It was a good piece of fielding and a perfectly presentable throw. But Thanawala was comfortable.
Still a couple of players in the hutch, so they can do that. They can take on the arm. Down the leg side, pulled away by Ballinger. I think she'll get 4 more here. And she will indeed. Nice shot from Grace. Second boundary, moves up to 9. Down the leg side and just helped it on its way.
So the virtue of the floaty full toss was borne out by that short long hop.
Yeah.
Really. And all that Grace Ballinger had to do was get something decent on the ball there. And she did.
Nice looking shot down towards the Hound Road stand. So they're up to 146 for 7. Still 3 balls left in the innings. Mary Taylor bowls again, floated up and hit away again through the offside. You can hear the cheers down below us, and that will be coming from the Blaze squad and maybe even the coaching staff as well. Fielded by Pavely, they come back for 2.
So do you think 9's a place too low down the order for Grace?
All-rounder. Blaze all-rounder, Grace Ballinger.
She's played a couple of really interesting shots. I mean, that's the lofted version of what was a beautiful extra cover drive in the previous over.
She's on to 15 from 11. Taylor going round the wicket. And again, she's played it away. And there's a chance for 2 here. I'm sure Thanawala will push hard. And Grace on to 17. And this is good stuff from this pair. And that's the 150 up, 150 for 7. And that had to have been were deep in their thoughts at the start of the game, I'm sure. Get top side of 150, but in those difficult middle overs, it seemed as if they were really going to struggle to get top side of 125. Mary Taylor then to conclude the innings, and a miss stumping. Ballinger danced down the track, was well out of her crease, and Nat Wraith couldn't gather it, and they'll go through for a bye. So the first bye of the innings, the first extra that isn't a wide, and they finish on 151 for 7. And very well battered Grace Ballinger at the end there, finishing 17 not out, and Prisha Thanawala, she's only got the number 5 against her name. It was her purposeful running, I think, that helped get the Blaze up from 130 for 7 when Lucy Hyam fell to get 151 for 7. Good game on her hands.
I think so. I think it's a very competitive score on a surface that does favour pace off. See whether Grace Ballinger gets a little bit of swing early on. But as Meg Austin and Abby Freeborn, when they've made a good start, they've managed to get a decent score on the board this season. Caris Pavley, we know, can be a very, very fine batter. Then Brewer and Wraith with power in the middle order. Wraith just hasn't been able to produce the goods yet this year. Recalled to the side for this game. We'll see how she goes. I think I'd rather have the runs on the board at the halfway point, Dave, if I'm honest.
Useful tally. 3 wicket takers: Georgia Davis, 4 overs, 3 for 23. Hannah Baker, 4 overs, 2 for 19. Mary Taylor, 4 overs, 2 for 33. Emma Jones, 32. Marie Kelly, 29. The top scorers for the Blaze. The players will be just nipping off for a quick turnaround. They'll be back out there in about 7 or 8 minutes' time, and when they return, so will the commentary.
Welcome to East Midlands Airport, or should we say the easiest Midlands Airport. The airport at the heart of the UK, flying to over 70 destinations. The easier airport with faster check-in and security that gives you extra time to relax and get in last-minute shopping. The airport that gets the kids on board before they get bored. East Midlands Airport, the easiest way to get away. To book your next holiday, visit eastmidlandsairport.com.
predicted. He feels the openers could hold the key to the Bears. I guess you can say that about most T20 innings, especially a run chase. You want somebody to set it up so that, if required, those that come in a little later on don't have so much work to do. But certainly the openers here could go a long way to getting the Bears their first victory of the campaign if they can have a good power play. It's
a tricky chase, though, isn't it? On a pitch that offered a beat, particularly for the slower bowlers. 152. With a good start, you could make quite a big dent in that, and then give yourself time to pace the chase. But I wonder what the Blaze will have learned from having batted on it. Whether there is enough encouragement for the slow bowlers there to maybe think about the way you deploy your bowlers. Maybe we only saw 1 over of spin in the power play. Maybe that's a bit more of an option if it's going to, offer a little bit there. So there might be tactical choices that the Blaze will be changing as they go along. We'll see.
Yeah, and I should just apologise to Charlie Knott and all their family and friends as well, because I just went through the bowling line-up, the bowling options with Richard there at the end of the Blaze innings, and I omitted to mention Charlie Knott, who's it's a terrific competition. She will certainly take pace off, and she will certainly get her 4 overs as well. So add Charlie Knott to the slower options, the right arm off spin of Lucy Hyam, the slow left arm of Maria Andrews, just 17, just playing her second game, and I'm sure Georgia Elwys will get an over or two, taking pace off as well. But I'm sure to begin with, it will be the pace on of Ballinger and Charlie Phillips, and certainly after that knock, Grace Ballinger has got to be sky high in confidence. She played some lovely shots, didn't she?
Yeah, so they were handy runs, because it was looking at 130 before she got out there. 150. It's a rather more challenging prospect. So, there was some good stuff in there from Grace.
Bumped up the order to number 9.
I tell you what, having seen her commentate with you, she'll be telling you all about it.
She will indeed.
Yeah, you'll be hearing all about that. Anyway, maybe you'll be hearing all about her bowling as well. Like Stonehouse, who bowled at the start of the Blaze innings, she will bowl left arm over the wicket from the pavilion end. All the pavilion with the work going on almost entirely draped in black. To provide the sight screen, and the first ball is hit aggressively into the ground by Austin and stopped by Ballinger in a follow through.
Yeah, you've not been here for a while, have you? You didn't come for the championship game.
No.
I guess this is a new site for you at the far end, the building site. But there's a lot going on at Edgbaston as well,
isn't there? Just yes, yeah. There's a bit of a gap in the stands there. As Ballinger hurries in to bowl down the leg side to Austin, she appeals for a catch, but not convincingly enough to persuade umpire Dovey not to signal a wide. It's one of those appeals. Yes, there's a big gap. Looks like an 8-year-old's mouth at Edgbaston with a big tooth missing in it, where the Priory and Raglan stands have gone. And they're currently they're going to build a stand in front of a hotel. They're doing the hotel first, which is a long way behind the rope, although it didn't stop Chris Lee hitting it with a 6 the other day.
Crikey.
Ballinger comes in the ball short, and Austin helps this away towards fine leg. There is a fielder down in that corner of the ground, Emma Jones, getting the throw on the way, and that's the first run off the bat. 2 for none. Austin likes to start with a bit of a rush, not afraid of playing strokes at the top of the order, but has found a little bit more form than some of the others. A couple of scores in the 40s so far in this tournament this year, at a time where the Bears are making a huge amount of runs. The top run scorer is the one who's on strike now, Abby Freeborn, who is getting a ball that nips back in a little bit from Ballinger and plays it with a straight bat out on the offside.
Yeah, Grace Ballinger, 5 wickets so far. She only played 3 of the matches, didn't play against Yorkshire. Got 3 for 24 in the win at Edgbaston last week, but went without a wicket on Sunday here against Durham, none for 26.
Freeborn made a half-century in that game at Edgbaston, and an unbeaten 86 in a losing cause at Chelmsford at the start of the competition. And she waits now for a ball from Ballinger that she's run off the face of the bat, maybe off a thick edge actually, and down to third for one run. Andrews is into field. The youngster, how exciting to be playing on a ground like this at 17. Brilliant. And might well have an important role to play. Slow left armour. A pitch that was offering a bit in the Blaze innings for the slower bowlers. 3 for none. Ballinger, it's a real tear up to the stumps, Grace Ballinger, and here she is bowling short, and a quick delivery that hurried Austin, who was late on the pull, and it's gone high through behind the stumps to Claridge.
Yes, a bowling coach / consultant, Luke Fletcher, will be purring seeing a delivery like that. Likes to call himself the consultant rather than the coach, yeah. Consultant means I don't have to come in all day, every day, Dave.
Oh, I see.
Consultant just when required.
Sounds like you should get more money for that. Consultant sounds a bit above coach. Ballinger bowls not as short as the previous one, and Austin pushes this away on the up or into the offside, but can't beat the ring of fielders. So just 3 from the first over, 1 to Austin, 1 to Freeborn, and 1 wide. The Bears needing 152, 3 for none.
Yeah, the Blaze had a quiet start, just 2 from the opening over, and then kicked on. Of course, in the power play, we had all those issues with the ball being speared down the leg side. 3 lots of 5 wides. Charlie Phillips, who sat Sunday's game out, returns. She's got 5 wickets also in this season's competition. 3 for 31, her best this time round against Yorkshire. Right arm, medium fast. Looks as if Tammy Beaumont's going to go in at slip, second slip. I'm surprised Tammy hasn't already positioned herself out on the Fox Road boundary, where she took an absolute stunner of a catch on Sunday. It won the moment of the day on the social media. A big moment. It was a fabulous catch. Here is Phillips then. Pulls with plenty of aggression, and this one just slightly short of a length. Freeborn will paddle it down to deep backward square. Just a single. 4 without loss.
The 2 fielders out on the boundary at the moment are both behind the wicket and quite wide. There's a deep backward square, as you just said, and the fielder at third, it's quite wide actually, almost quite deep backward point, not as far round as that. So there's Beaumont in at sort of that wide slip position, trying to guard that area.
Phillips bowls again, hit back over her head, and this will just skip on and go away for 4. It's a lovely clean shot from Austin. Straight down the ground for a boundary. Real shot of intent from Meg Austin. Just 21 years of age. 25th match in this format. Really talented youngster. Feel nice getting one like that out of the middle early on. Charlie Phillips will be warned. She's in again and bowls, and this one's just drifted down the leg side. Maybe the damage done from the previous ball played a factor in that. Just drifted it down the leg side. 9 without loss.
Yeah, it was a good thump down the ground from Austin, who is not afraid to go for her strokes right from the very beginning. Stands very still as she's waiting for the bowler to arrive, and then throws a whole weight into the shot.
They say that's the key, don't they? Phillips in again to Austin. Just pushes us into the offside. She's set off running. There was never any chance of a single being completed there. Straight to Georgia Elwis. Plenty of birthday cake knocking around on Sunday to celebrate Georgia's 35th.
35, really, gosh. Same as you, Dave.
Oh, if only. If only. Ball back with Phillips. 2 batters just at a little mid-wicket conference there. 9 without loss. First time today we've got more blue sky than dark grey stuff. As Phillips bowls again, and that's a lovely delivery. That pitched and might just have jagged away a little bit off the seam. Through into the gloves of Claridge.
That's why they've been tempted to have Beaumont there, I think. Is that
No, now she's coming out, look.
Oh, well, there you go. You did have a nice shape to it, that. I'll tell you what, if you were the bowler and said, look at the ball I've just bowled.
Exactly.
I want 2 slips.
Yeah, that.
Come on, Skip.
Yeah, that takes some understanding. Phillips in again. Short, and trying to play the uppercut there. Meg Austin fancied it was one of those she could lift up and over. Not that there was anybody there in the slip cordon to lift it up and over. 1 for the over, says the umpire. 10 without loss. It was actually flagged as a wide.
It was one of those weird balls you get in T20 cricket that looks a bit like cricket, but not quite. Maybe it's an AI version of cricket. Sort of banged, a very slow, loopy bouncer.
Austin has 5. Drives this into the offside again, straight to Elwes. There's no run.
Interesting over that. A couple of wides in it, but a couple of very good balls. Oh no, we've still got another one to go, haven't we? It's 2 wides. We had 1 good thump down the ground from Austin. A couple of really good deliveries. Bit of everything in this over.
See if she can keep it to an 8-ball over. Already 2 extras. Charlie Phillips. She pitched this up to Meg Austin, and just slightly short of a length, and that's pulled away for 4. No chance for Emma Jones there. Hit away just in front of the square leg umpire. Lovely looking shot from Meg Austin. And the Bears are 14 without loss. 11 coming from that second over of the innings, same stage. The Blaze were 13 without loss.
It's a good strike from Austin. It was short, but it wasn't that short. But given a real clatter through backward square leg. But yeah, that's Austin. Plays her T20 cricket at the top of the innings for a good time, not a long time, on the evidence of last season, but has done so effectively with a couple of 40 so far this campaign. Doesn't generally hang about in getting them. Ballinger starts a new over, and Freeborn is nudging this back, closing the face of the bat on it and back to the bowler.
It's a real statement, isn't it? Saying, I'll have number 1, please. Grace Ballinger wearing number 1.
Yes, I suppose it is.
Made some extraordinary male cricketers for Nottinghamshire that have worn number 1. Ajmal Shazad, Brendan Taylor, to name but 2. Sol Budinger, there's another one.
Yes, Ballinger, and it's a full toss, and very well played by Freeborn, because that was heading about the line of off stump, and she's got down low quickly and helped it around to fine leg for 4 runs. Well played.
I always wonder about those that opt for number 13 as well, because that's traditionally the unlucky number, of course. All the numbers that you could possibly have, those that choose number 13, I think, have sort of got a weird sense of humour, haven't they?
There's always one. Ballinger clutches the ball very tightly at the start of her run, and then heads in again to bowl to Freeborn. Beats Freeborn as she pushes outside the off stump. Her ball maybe just left a fraction. Ended up with 1 hand off the bat, and takes a fresh guard afterwards.
We said this power play would be key, going along nicely so far for the Bears. Georgia Redmayne, the Australian, to come in next, and then Caris Pavley, strong looking top 4. Imagine one of those has got to play an innings of some substance.
Freeborn makes Ballinger wait while she just checks where the fielders are. Short fine leg, trying to make sure she's just in the circle as Ballinger bowls, and Freeborn square drives. Austin wants to run and quickly changes her mind, and wisely too, because it went straight to Tammy Beaumont.
He just interrupted the chat that Tammy and Lucy Hyam were having there. Beaumont at backward point, Hyam just in front.
18 for no wicket. Ballinger waits. It's quite a long run. Starts from just outside the circle, then takes 3 or 4 strides to really get motoring, and then bowls full to Freeborn, who gets an inside edge into the pad, and it squirts away very fine past the wicket-keeper for 1 down to 3rd. Well, that nearly got through.
Yeah, nearly deflected onto the stumps, didn't it, off the edge as well.
7 to Freeborn. 19 for none.
Blaze 3-1. The Bears yet to register a first victory. But like London buses, they'll get one and then they'll get 2, 3 and 4. Still wouldn't rule them out of a push for one of those qualification spots.
Here comes Ballinger, and this is hit on the up by Austin over extra cover. What a good strike. That's being chased, but it's comfortably going to run away from Elwes for 4. And that really did come out of the meat from Meg Austin, who goes to 13 with her third boundary. 23 for none in 3 overs.
Yes,
confident hit that was on the up.
It was. It was a very optimistic chase from Georgia Elwes. She set off with the firm belief that she was going to get there, but I don't think the odds were ever in her favour. 23 without loss, and now pace off with Charlie Knott, who's taken 4 wickets so far in this season's competition. She's bowled her full allocation of 4 overs in each of the 4 matches. Best of 2 for 23 against Lancashire at Old Trafford. In the win there. Just having a chat with Marie Kelly, who is the stand-in skipper, if you like, with Kirsty Gordon away with Scotland. So the 2 out, only 2 still at this phase of the innings allowed outside the circle, a deep backward square and deep mid-wicket, both obviously on the leg side. There is Not then round the wicket, bowling to Freeborn. She's nudged it out to Tammy Beaumont at deep mid-wicket. It'll be just a single. 24 without loss.
So it's the same pattern as the Bears used, getting the spinner in for the 4th over in the power play.
Was that the Carys Pavley over?
That was the Carys Pavley over.
Didn't go so well. I don't imagine Charlie Knott will go for quite as many. We'll have to see. Well, she dropped that one short, and that was potentially one that Meg Austin missed out on. Certainly short enough to pull. She just dragged it on the leg side out to Emma Jones. Just a single. 25 without loss.
Yeah, there's 2 protecting the leg side boundary, but even so, I think Austin probably would have fancied she could have got that one away more cleanly.
Somebody leading the cheers out on the field. Come on, Charlie, you perhaps heard. She bowls now and takes the pace off it, and Freeborn was contemplating dancing down the track to get to the pitch of the ball, but in the end stayed at home, just helped it out to Lucy Hyam, who's inside the circle, mid-wicket, 5 strips or so away. Down comes Freeborn. She's got hold of this one, plays it out to the left of Hyam, but there's Beaumont, positioned nicely for the stop in the deep. One more to the total, 26 without loss.
Very strong in that area, Freeborn, and was always looking for that gap at mid-wicket inside the circles, and mid-wicket on the boundary.
Not just setting herself, and he comes in off 2 or 3 paces, right arm round the wicket. She's lifted this one up and over, and that'll run away for 4. Nicely played by Meg Austin. Just managed to sort of play the in-out shot, but plenty of elevation, lifted it over Charlie Phillips at mid-off and away for 4.
Good feet, Austin. Got down the pitch just right enough to read the flight of that.
Yeah, quickly weighed up her scoring area and executed it beautifully. Not in again to Austin, and down on one knee, a bit of a flail onto the leg side out to Jones for another single. That'll conclude the 4th over, 31 without loss. After that big corresponding over in the Blaze innings, they were 46 without loss, so a little bit of catching up for the Bears to do, but I think they'll be quietly pleased at the moment. 31 without loss. They need 121 more from 16 overs.
Yeah, the Blaze innings was rather a lumpy one in the way it went. It sagged a bit in the middle, and then Grace Ballinger gave it a bit of a push towards the end after that good half-century partnership midway through between Hyam and Jones. But a smoother start so far for the Bears. Change of bowling. Charlie Phillips going So again, same pattern as the Bears followed. One of the seamers bowling an over from each end in the power play, and that was short. And Austin helps it away in the air to deep backward square leg. There's a field there, and so there's only one.
Emma Jones, she's doing the hard yards out in the deep on the leg side on both sides. We've got a pair of Charlies bowling at the moment. Charlie Knott from one end, Charlie Phillips from the other.
Here comes Phillips, turning in the sunshine, running away from the pavilion and bowling to Freeborn, who is pushing this away, not quite out of the middle, into the covers for no run.
I suppose we've got a pair of Charlies commentating as well. Were you there?
I was there. I'll be honest with you, I thought about it.
Fed you the line.
Yeah, I thought about it. I let that one go. It's on the off stump, but I'm glad to know that you couldn't resist.
No.
Your listeners would expect nothing.
Don't waste a setup.
Here comes Phillips, and Freeborn took a step back away outside the leg stump, and then was only able to push it back to the bowler. Phillips is very busy and follows through, skips forward to grab it, and then sets off with it's a very deliberate walk. Some fast bowlers, they sort of trudge back to the start of a mark, but Phillips walks hungrily back, as if to say, look at this, it's a proper march. It's a fair old march as well, like Ballinger's, a very long approach. Sun glinting off umpire Dovey's glasses that are perched on top of her hat. At 32 for none, and Phillips bowls a short ball that Freeborn was in position for early to scoop, and sort of flapped at it as if she was trying to flip a pancake, and it went over her shoulder and through to the wicketkeeper.
Yes, I think back a million years ago when the world was black and white, I think if I'd tried to play that shot, I'd have worn that one straight between the eyes.
I think so. 32 for none. The fine leg is quite fine inside the circle, Ballinger, but there's plenty of gap behind that. Dear, no, who's out Fox 2 here? Freeborn went down very early on one knee to try and achieve the same shot. Phillips with a bouncer that turned into a big loopy one that went miles over the top for a wide.
I'm very pleased that the shots we got on the live stream there was of Charlie Phillips smiling. It's one that clearly she didn't quite get right.
You didn't mean to be as short as that. Ballinger's going back to deep fine now, in case Abby Freeborn really collars one of these.
Yeah, Maria Andrews coming up into the ring from the slice position, as Fergus O'Neill calls it. Third man, no, slice.
Ballinger, hair flailing behind her as she runs in, or rather Phillips. I should say, and Freeborn drives this into the covers, again for no run.
She'll make way in just a second. You can have some more leg spin talk. We'll find out who's going to be the grateful recipient of his bowling tomorrow. He'll be plying his trade in the Notts Premier League tomorrow.
Abby Freeborn's up.
Oh.
Suddenly pulled away then. She's got something in her eye or bothered by a wasp. Or she's given something to the umpire.
A gift. Just remember she's wearing a Rolex.
Phillips is hands on hips being made to wait for such an inconvenience. Freeborn's ready. And here comes Phillips now with quite a round arm action, and Freeborn guides this on the bounce to short third. Andrews with a little bit of an over-enthusiastic throw, goes over the wicketkeeper's head, but it's backed up. They get one. It's the end of the over. Freeborn not quite as comfortable in that over, which was a proper mixed bag from Phillips. 34 for none in 5 overs. Has given the Bears a solid start, but it's still a testing chase, even with all their wickets in hand. Nearly 8 and over, they need 118 to win from the last 15. One more to go in the power play, and we're going to see Georgia Elwis, I think. And, both teams with a chance at this point, Kyle.
Yeah, very even, I would say. Almost very evenly poised. Georgia Elwis into the attack. Bears not having lost a wicket so far, the same stage. The Blaze were 52 for 1, but as you know, really got pegged back. Elwis in, and this is pushed out into the offside for no run. I think that potentially was pace off straight away from Georgia Elwis, which is what we saw a little bit with the seamers from the Bears earlier.
Yes, I think this is going to be, compared to Ballinger and Phillips, it's going to be relatively gradual from Elwes. They're quite tricky in this over.
Elwes in full and middle stump has gone cartwheeling. I beg your pardon, leg stump has gone cartwheeling. What a way to introduce yourself into the attack. Takes 2 balls and picks up the big wicket. The Bears lose their first. It's 34 for 1.
Well, Austin was always going to have a pop at that if it was up for driving, but drove right over the top. Freeborn rather drove right over the top of it, and goes for 10. The Bears' top scorer in the competition so far. You've got to force it, haven't you, with the field up, and Elwes is putting no pace on the ball. It's pretty gentle medium. So the challenge is there to try and hit over the infield, which is what Freeborn was trying to do. But she missed and Elwes hit.
Yeah, really good bowling. Just wicket to wicket, just tailing back. And the Blaze get big wicket. You would have felt that they needed to get a breakthrough. Georgia.
Yeah, if they take wickets on a reasonably regular basis, it's going to be quite a tricky chase, given what we've seen so far.
Yeah, definitely. Difficult wicket to start. To be honest with you, Georgia Redmayne, the new batter, decrease the left-hander. Again, everyone on the offside up into the 30-yard circle. Really will be wicket to wicket here by Georgia Elwes, and this is wicket to wicket. It's a lovely shot to get off the mark. Redmond just off the back foot, pushes it into the gap. And a diving stop there by, I think that is Tammy Beaumont. He's now running out to the deep wicket boundary. Trent Bridge that is bathed in glorious Friday sunshine. Goodness me, how much sun makes a difference. It's absolutely wonderful. Bears 35 for 1 in pursuit of the Blazers 152. Elwes in, Austin on strike and playing this. Or playing and missing at this outside the off stump. Goes through to the keeper, no run.
Yeah, they've lost some momentum here, the Bears, after or around the loss of the Freeborn wicket. And Elwes is just floating the ball up here and making it difficult to hit.
Yep. It's holding a line and length nicely as Elwes is in, goes real full, and this is driven down the ground too long on. Bowling to her field nicely here. Nice and full, just getting pushed down the ground. So Austin moves to 21. Redmayne 1 off 1. Bears go in. Call it 6s for now. It's about as good as my math is going to get from there. 36 with 1 ball left in the power play. Elwes turns and goes, and this is pushed down the ground for a quick single. Good running, and that will be 37 for 1 at the end of the power play.
Georgia Redmayne, Australian, very experienced now at 32, has had quite a few trips over to England previously to play in the 100, even played for Worcestershire right at the start of her career as a real youngster. But yet to make a major contribution since joining the Bears for this competition this season. Georgia Redmayne, couple of 30s, but this would be an occasion you'd want your overseas player to really take charge. Charlie Knott is going to go for the first over post power play. He's going to come back. We're going to turn to spin just as the Bears did at this point.
Yep. Charlie Knott off spinner, bowling to left-hander. Redmond spinning the ball away from the bat. This is where we saw the Bears really put a massive squeeze on the Blazers innings.
They did. Not holding the ball tightly at the start of a 3 or 4 pace approach and really floats this up outside the left-hander's off stump. Redmayne cuts to backward point. Now 5 are laid outside the circle. So there is a deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on his back. There's a deep cover. I think there's a third as well. Here he's not going wide of the crease, and that was quite a wide delivery. Redmayne cuts it out to deep cover for 1. Left-hand, right-hand combination now, so a little shuffle round for Austin. So back goes mid-wicket to the Fox Road side, and square leg, be a long on going in as well. It's going to be a trudge if they keep taking singles. Keep going all that way down and back.
It's not a little stroll. It's quite a far way away there.
It's big boundary here today. Elwes not rather right in close to the stumps. He's a bit short again, and this is pulled by Austin quite straight for 1 run. Austin to 22. And it's 39 for 1 in over number 7. 152 the target for the Bears to finally get their campaign moving. Neither the Bears men or women with a win so far. Not round the wicket as he's cut hard by Redmayne, but again there are 2 fielders quite close together inside the circle on the offside. And Andrews fields and again denies Redmayne a run. Not quite getting her innings moving yet. There's 3 from her first 5 balls, the left-hander. And now waits again for Notty, gives this a lot of loop, and Redmayne has managed to steer it through the gap at extra cover this time, but only for 1. And already the ball's ticking by, making it now a more than 8 and over chase for the Bears. For the right-handed Austin, there are 4 on the edge of the circle on the offside, really close together, only about 25 yards covering the whole, all 4 of them, between a wide mid-off and backward point. And lots of loop here from Knott, and Austin tries to find a gap. It's half stopped at the edge of the circle by Elwes, and they take 1. Austin taking on the challenge of trying to pierce that ring field, but only got a single, just 4 singles from the over. That'll do for the Blaze. 41 for 1 in 7. The Bears needing another 111.
Yep, it's good fielding there by George Elwes. So easy for that last ball to go for 4, and then all of a sudden a bit of pressure's been released. Misfield did allow them to come through for a single, but it's definitely safe. 3 runs there. Austin and Redmayne just looking to sort of pick up the scoring rate. 111 runs off 13 at 8 and a halves. So it's 111 off 78 balls. Maria Andrews, slow left arm spinner into the attack, and she's gone short first ball and cut straight at backward point. And I must admit, I think it's safe to say she's got away with that first ball. Austin would have really looked to punish that away to the boundary. Can she come back? Andrews in, goes a little bit fuller this time, and this is pushed down the ground firmly to Marie Kelly, who does the fielding. No runs, so 2 dot balls. Just that pressure just builds. Wouldn't say they were 2 of the best balls, but still 2 dot balls, which is a win for the Blaze. Andrews in, and that's a good ball, and this is down the ground. Long on being, that's the running around, and they get back for 2. Always 2 straight down the ground there. Little pitching wedge, lands short of the green, spins back and stops just before the boundary rope.
Yeah, got underneath that a bit, Meg Austin, but obviously thinks the shot's on, even with a long on and long off back, if it's pitched up.
Andrews in, goes full again, and Austin this time slamming it down the ground, and it finds the gap, and that's going to be 4. It dissects Marie Kelly and Charlie Knott, and that will be a boundary. That's good batting. This one tossed up again by Andrews, and better timing by Meg Austin, and brings up out of boundary.
Yes, she's not going to shy away from the challenge, even with the long on and long off. We've both gone a little bit straighter now to try and shut off that gap.
Andrews goes a little bit flatter, skids on straight. Big appeal. I think that was sliding down the leg side. Not a million miles away, that. We saw a ball similar from ball in the Warwickshire bowling innings that got Charlie Knott out by Davis. Just slid on straight with the arm. This one just sliding on straight from the left arm spinner into the pad of Austin.
That's the length for Austin, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think it's the pace through the air as well. A little bit quicker. This one in, and Redmayne dancing down the wicket and flicking it out to deep mid-wicket for a single. Tammy Beaumont does the fielding and they get through for a single. So at the end of that one, it is 49 for 1 after 8, 7 coming from the over.
Interesting over that. There was quite a lot going on in Austin. Andrews rather took a little bit of time to find the right length, but the last 2 balls were good. Redmayne had to make quite a late adjustment before flicking that away to the leg side. And 17-year-old settling into it. It's a big deal to come and play on a ground like this right at the start of your career against good teams in a competition that's well watched. Lots of people watching on from a distance as well. So it's got an over into it now, Andrews. Now, Lucy Hyam to start over number 9 with more off spin, this time from the pavilion end. The first ball was a little short and hauled by Redmayne out, the left-hander out to mid-wicket for 1. So we've got slow left arm at one end, and now 2 different off-spinners going from the Radcliffe Road end. We've had Knott, this is now Hyam. Scuttles in off about 6 short paces, and Austin going for a big mow through the leg side, gets a thick inside edge down to Ballinger at short fine leg, and gets away with it and takes a run. But she wasn't very close to the middle of the bat there.
No, looking to target the short boundary on the leg side for Meg Austin.
30 to Austin. Round the wicket comes Hyam, gives this lots of air, and Redmayne was swinging so hard at it, slightly lost the balance as it dipped in very full and mishit it a bit to mid-off. And they've just missed out on 1 or 2 in the last 5 minutes or so. 51 for 1. This time Redmayne's down the pitch, and that one hasn't come quite out of the middle either. It's in the air, but it's cleared the infield and dropped short of deep extra cover, and they'll have 2. Had the intent to go over the offside there, Redmayne, but wasn't absolutely truly hit. 8 to Redmayne, still settling a bit. Fewer than 100 to win now. Hyam round the wicket. Has Redmayne coming forward and going back and getting this off an under edge out into the offside for 1. But it's not fluent at the moment from the Bears.
No, they're just ticking over here. They ideally need a boundary. 5 coming from these 5 balls. Rate creeping closer and closer to 9s.
Only 1 boundary in the last 4 overs. Austin has a go here, another one, but hasn't hit it far enough. It falls well short of, well, virtually straight over the bowler's head, fielded it long off. They get 1, 6 from the over. And that'll do as far as the Blaze are concerned, because the Warwickshire women need nearly 9 and over now at 55 for 1 in 9 overs, 97 to win.
Yep. Starting to look like a really uphill battle for the Bears. Maria Andrews is going to continue. And I must admit, as a young spinner, this is a great opportunity to pick up a big wicket here. Andrews in and reverse sweep, comes off the front pad, and they scamper through for, I think, a leg by.
Felt like a leg by, but I didn't see a signal, so
no,
I still don't get that one.
Nope, come off some glove or bat or something. They get through for a single. Brings a left-handed Australian Redmayne onto strike. Andrews over the wicket, down the ground. This is pushed down the ground too long off. Charlie Knott does the fielding, so 2 singles. The Blaze have done exactly what the Bears have did at the same stage, sort of just trying to look to control the middle overs with spin. Really difficult to sort of find that boundary, difficult to force the play, it seems, with pace off. No third man, so mid-wicket trying to stop Meg Austin. Wonder if this will be a reverse sweep. This is in straight, no, conventional slog sweep, and that will be a boundary. So there's the boundary for the Bears. They needed that. Austin moves to 36, 61 for 1.
Got plenty of that, Meg Austin. Hitting it over mid-wicket. There's a deep square in and a long on in, but mid-wicket was inside the circle, so they might have an adjustment there. Emma Jones is going to stay on the boundary there at mid-wicket. But there's only a fine leg really behind the batter and just about a backward point.
Andrews in goes a little bit slower, change of pace. It's really well bowled. That previous ball was a little bit flatter, a little bit quicker. It's easier to sort of slog sweep the balls that are bowled into the wicket a bit faster. That ball a little bit slower, making it a little bit more challenging for Meg Austin. Andrews in goes a little bit flatter and quicker outside off stump, and this is through to the keeper. So really good fight back that.
Nicely controlled, isn't it, this bowling from the youngster?
Fantastic bowling.
After settling down, those first couple of balls are a bit off. This has been a really good effort.
Yeah, really good bowling. Really bounced back well from the boundary, followed by 2 dots. Can she get out with a single? This one full and low, and this is hit over deep mid-wicket, and it's going to be a 6. She's just missed her mark. Unfortunately, she's tried to get out the over with a nice full ball. Over pitcher slightly, and Meg Austin gets a low full toss, which she needed no invitation to hit it over deep backward, or deep mid-wicket, I beg your pardon, for half a dozen. And that finishes the over really, really well for the Bears. Big one. Moved to 67 for 1 after 10. Austin ticking along really nicely here. Sorry, I beg your pardon, it's 70, the same stage. The Blaze was 76 for 4, so not much in it really. Fairly tight. If you look on the left-hand side on our screen, you can't see it, but the worm slowly but surely the Bears are starting to match. Georgia Elwes is going to change ends.
I'm back, Carl, to tease you.
I know.
As Elwes comes in around the wicket to the left-handed Redmayne, who helps out round the corner for a single.
I feel more sorry for Dave. I think Dave gets more stick than I do.
Yeah, in fairness, he's got a very thick skin. I looked after him when he was getting overexcited when the Notts men won the championship last year. So I get a little bit of latitude for that. It was a great occasion that was to watch. But here we've got a competitive game. I do think the Bears will regret not going harder in the power play, but we will see that last over. The hitting of Meg Austin got them back in it. Elwes drops this short of a length, totally mistimed pull down into the deck by Austin. They'll come through for a single. Elwes does the fielding off her own bowling. Her experience is shown in these 8 deliveries she's bowled. I mean, and over in the power play now. There she pace off, pace on. She's just got the variety, hasn't she? Yeah,
she's bowling really well. Just gone everyone out on the leg side, bar fine leg, and just going to go into the wicket nice and straight, make it really difficult to hit boundaries.
Redmayne makes room for herself and pushes it into an area of the covers that will allow them a single. Scuttling across came Tammy Beaumont to do the fielding. 70 for 1. This pair have added 36 now, but that run rate required is starting to drift up to 8.5, 9, and that's going to be the challenge, particularly against the slower bowlers, where they'll start needing 2 boundaries and over before too long.
Just becomes really unmanageable when it starts getting up around 9, 9.5.
Austin awaits and drives this straight, as she's done so often. Doesn't time it entirely. They'll certainly get 1. They think about coming back for 2. There was a danger that Austin was going to overcommit. This duo have not necessarily run between the wickets well in this competition this season. There have been some moments, but Austin to 44, certainly one of the cleaner straight strikers that you'll see. I mean, that's where she set a stall out in this innings, isn't it?
Yeah, she's looking to drive the ball down the ground really well. Just hasn't looked like that came off the toe of the bat, really.
Redmayne will dink the ball through mid-on for a single up to long on. Again, no real timing about it.
Looks I don't know to you, but it looks just a little bit challenging. Looks a little bit too paced. Georgia Elwes is bowling really well. Slower balls into the wicket, then the quicker ball, so it's making timing quite challenging in all fairness. It just seems as not quite easy just to stand there and hit through the line of the ball.
Austin was a full toss, which she can launch here into the outfield, and the fielder in the deep is not going to be able to catch up with that. It's a second 6, and it takes Meg Austin to a very good half-century. Austin 50 not out off 33 balls, and on her shoulders the Warwickshire Bears' hopes lie.
That is an absolute wallop by Meg Austin. A lower full toss, and it's got the treatment and a little bit of extra as it goes clattering into the seats.
In the absence through injury of Davina Perrin, Meg Austin has done very well at the top of the order for the Bears in this competition. A couple of times she's sawn herself off really with shots that she maybe would have played differently given another choice, but 78 for 1 at the end of the over. She has given the Bears an opportunity. She's playing a fine hand here.
Yeah, really, really good batting that by Meg Austin. 78 for 1. Another change in bowling. Lucy Hyam into the attack. Slow right arm off spinner. It's going to be around the wicket here to left-handed Redmond, who is pulling this into the deep. I thought she actually found the gap there. It's a very, very short leg side hit for her. This was dragged down slightly by Hyam, and I think she's got away with one there. That could have gone for a 4, and the Bears would have been on for another big over.
Decent length of boundary, actually. I mean, you compare Edgbaston and the wickets have tended to be on one side for last games, and the building site has been very much in reach. All right, this could be a 65 yards, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not too bad at all.
See Hyam in, and this is pushed down the ground. I'm not going to run the second one. I don't think there was ever 2 there, in all fairness. 80 for 1. Yeah, it's one thing we've noticed, Dave and I. The boundaries at Trent Bridge for the ladies' games have been fairly big.
Yeah.
Been really, really big. They're not being brought in much at all. Hyam in, and this is off the back foot. Push to backward point. No run.
I can't imagine they're going to move for the second half of the day's entertainment. I think this is probably where the boundaries will lie for the second match as well.
Yeah, if anything, maybe a little bit further out on the right-hand side, but not much, as this is cut away in the gap, and that's a lovely shot for Redmayne. Really, really gorgeous. Little front foot press, leans back, off the back foot, cuts it square and finds the gap. Gorgeous cricket.
She's a very angular batter. She loves the pull and the cut, and I think she feels she's missed out 2 or 3 times by finding the fielders so far. But that is a classic little back cut through just behind point.
Yeah.
Waited on the ball, played it nice and late.
That's a fantastic shot. Just really, really good batting. Can Hyman react? She goes a little bit slower and straight, and this is flicked onto the leg side. They run the first one hard, and they're going to get back for 2. Really good running between the Bears there. Austin and Redmayne running really nicely between the wickets there, understanding that this is a big moment in the game. 86 for 1 now, 1 ball left, 66 required off 49 balls, so keeping up with that rate is imperative. Hyman in goes a little bit flatter, and Redmayne running down the wicket and flicking this down the ground to Marie Kelly, who does the fielding, and that will bring an end to the 12th over. The Bears are 87 for 1 at the end of the 12th. At the same stage, the Blaze were 84 for 5.
Yeah, it's interesting, but that significant partnership then between Jones and Hyam, and then Ballinger and Thanawala did a really good job at the end of just getting what they could. That partnership of 21, Ballinger in particular striking the ball well. So they're going to have to stay on it, but the 50 partnership is up, 53 off 40 balls between these two. Meg Austin's half-century is her second in the blast. She got 51 against Hampshire Edgbaston last year, but it's her third score of over 40 in the last 4 games, so she's in that bit of form. And it's moved Marie Kelly to bringing back Grace Ballinger. 2 overs for 12 earlier. The strike bowler wanted to break up this partnership with 65 needed off the last 8 overs. Ballinger in, pushed into the leg side by Redmayne. They run the first hard. They decided against the second, and then there was a misfield that would have made it comfortable.
Yeah, there's 2 there, I think. I think they've left a run out there.
I think it's Charlie Knott who was coming in for the boundary.
It is. Yeah, Charlie Knott just running in, looks to pick it up one-handed, misfields it. Ball went fair distance from maybe a 30, 40 centimetres. There's always opportunity to come back for two there.
4 tight in a ring on the offside because they're protecting the boundary on the leg side for Austin, who lifts this towards square leg. One bounce and fielded by Thanawala, and again just a single. 89 for 1. Knots are now, well, sorry, the Blaze, I beg your pardon, they're at that point where they know that any over without a boundary will put a heap of pressure on the Bears. And the wicket of Meg Austin will put even more on, but it's Redmayne on strike on 22. This is down the leg side, wraps her on the pad, fielded by Ballinger in her follow-through. This is sort of control that Marie Kelly was after in this over, isn't it?
Definitely. Just bowling to the plan, really. Leg side, fielders all out, bowl nice and straight, make it difficult to hit the boundaries. Boundaries are going to cost you the game here. 1s and 2s probably aren't going to hurt you that much. So go nice and full, have them hit out to the deep fielders on the leg side and get that run rate to go up, and that will cause a mistake.
Ballinger in powerfully, and she's lifted into the outfield. It's going to be a chance at backward point, and it's taken tumbling backwards by Tammy Beaumont, and Redmayne is gone for 22, and a very useful wicket indeed. 89 for 2 are the Bears, and the plan of bringing Grace Ballinger back to break the partnership has gone perfectly.
Really good bowling by Grace Ballinger. Golden arm that, brought into the attack. Gets the big wicket of Redmayne. She's got to go for 22 off 23. As I said, wicket to wicket. Force a false shot, and that's exactly what's happened. The Bears lose their second. Redmayne's got to go. And the Blaze, well, you'd still say it's fairly even here. They need 63 of 44, do the Bears. And I'm not quite sure. This can go either way, to be perfectly honest.
Well, the key here is the 2 gun batters in this current Bears lineup are now going to be together, because out comes Caris Pavley, who is on the fringes of England selection. There's no doubt about it. An all-rounder. Didn't go well with the ball earlier today and has had an injury this season which has affected her, but on the whole a great all-rounder, excellent fielder, and lightning between the wickets, and comes into bat with Austin, who's already played a good knock for the team. But Ballinger, just 2 runs and a wicket off the first 4 balls of the over, has just given Marie Kelly that boost that she needed. And alongside Georgia Elwes, Ballinger is the experienced member of this attack.
Yeah.
Really. You know, with so many young players in this side. Similar positions to the Bears. They've got a lot more youngsters involved this year. Ballinger is in and off his pads by Pavley. It goes fine. They should be able to come back for 2. Grace Ballinger frustrated with herself. 91 for 2.
Yeah, just drifting a little bit too straight there onto the pads. Flick down the leg side. Always going to be 2 there. Fine leg didn't have a chance, and Lucy Hyam running around from deep square does the fielding. 1 ball left of the Ballinger over. Leave her with 1 over left to bowl at the death, I'm sure.
Absolutely. 1 for 16 at the moment as Pavley drives her through a straight mid-wicket for a single. So Pavley 3 off her first 2 balls, 92 for 2 at the end of the over. So the Birmingham Bears require 60 off the remaining 7 overs. So the Blaze have managed to just push that run rate required up above 8.5 with that over.
Yep, at the same stage, you guessed it, the Blaze were 92 for 5, so the only thing separating them were the wickets. Charlie Knott is going to be brought back into the attack again. Another really big play here by Captain Marie Kelly, understanding that this is the partnership that can really harm the Blaze. This is the partnership that can win it for the Bears, and they need a wicket. Left-hander and Paisley at the crease, so having an off-spinner take the ball away from the bat, very, very challenging. On the offside, we've got short third, backward point cover, deep extra cover, mid-off in the and then mid-off in the ring. Long on, deep mid-wicket and deep square on the leg side out with a short fine. So nothing short really from Charlie Knott. She's in here and goes very slow through the air and just dropped on the offside by Pavely, and I'll tell you what, she's lightning between the sticks.
So I warned you. That's what she's good at.
It's fantastic. It's what you need right now.
But also, it's very decisive. At the moment she taps the ball down, they're through. They know they're going through. And if you commit in that situation, the odds are you will get through cleanly, and you're putting the pressure on the fielder, aren't you?
Exactly. Then all of a sudden, if you're not bowling many dot balls, you will then inevitably find a boundary, and before you know it, the over's gone for 8, 9 and 10, and you haven't really gone all guns blazing. Not into Austin, who's sweeping this away on the leg side. Again, just plugs and a misfield out there in the deep allows them to come back for 2. 95 for 2, so 3 off this over. Brings Meg Austin back on strike. 54 off 36. What a gem of an innings this has been. Charlie Knott in, and this is hammered down the ground. We've really been testing the straight fielders, and Pavely sprints back for 2. She is fast. She takes out Charlie Knott in the process, who's thrown the ball. It's missed everybody. And Grace Ballinger, who was at short fine leg, has had to do the fielding down right in front of the pavilion that is being rebuilt.
Well, they had a bit of a discussion before they came through for the overthrow there as to whether they should or not. But it hadn't hit the batter. She'd collided with the bowler, which was, that was perfectly reasonable. But she's also taken a bang in the face, Caris Pavely. So she's a little bit uncomfortable at the moment. But they come through for 3. That was an untidy piece of fielding, to say the least. But again, Austin's ability to strike the ball very, very straight. It means she doesn't hold out when she might have done. Looking at the picture, it looks like Caris Pavely is smiling, which is good news.
I think she's dived to try and make her ground at the non-strikers end, she's almost slid in. Well, she is not almost. She has slid into Charlie Knott, which has then taken her out, which has caused the throw to go askew.
Umpire Rose Dovey is going to ask for the physio to come on just to check her out, which is obviously the right thing to do, particularly if anybody's taking a bang around the head or the eye. So they'll check her out. Certainly the Bears won't want to lose Caris Pavely, whether temporarily or not, at this juncture, because we've got a properly good chase here. 53 runs required, 39 balls to go, one very much set batter and another very good one, and as we've said, very fine runner between the wickets in Caris Pavely. Good game of cricket.
Very good game of cricket. Are we on for another tie? Is that going to happen again?
I mean, last season's tie here was extraordinary because the Blaze were in command with the bat and the squeeze was extraordinary. I mean, you look at it 5 and over for the last 5, just squeezed it life out of the game altogether. It was very impressive. But, this is different. This is a chase where they've got to keep going full bore. And another tight over like the one Grace Ballinger bowled might just take it out of sight, and you find yourself chasing. They've just been ahead. It's always quite useful looking at the past score, the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern.
Yeah, it's really important.
Because they're only 2 wickets down, they've largely stayed ahead of it, and they're ahead of it now. The scoreboards here are brilliant for this.
They're fantastic. They make run chasing so easy, don't they? So at this stage, Duckworth-Lewis, not that it's going to rain everybody, but Duckworth-Lewis says for them to reach the score, they need to be on 92. They're on 98, so 6 runs ahead of where they should be. Puts them in good stead. They understand that, right, not every ball needs to disappear for 6. We can tick it over. So really, really good. Got a 3 from that last ball. Pavely just pulls out, does a little bit of gardening and walk back.
Yeah, I think she was just buying some time to collect herself there.
I agree. 6 from the first 3 balls. Charlie Knott starts her slow gather. She goes slow and Pavely pushes this down the ground, and I'm a little bit surprised she hasn't tried to run that.
Yeah, I think if she was feeling 100% herself and settled, she'd have gone straight away there, but yeah.
Not. In goes full and wide, and this is pushed away. In the gap, it lands in between backward points and cover. Diving, couldn't quite manage to get there. They get through for a single, 99 for 2.
I know that was in the air for a long time, but I think that's a really good stop because that has saved at least 2 runs.
Yep, definitely. Don't think it was ever a catch.
No.
Just landing in the gap there. 99 for 2. Last ball of the over. Can Charlie not get out without a boundary? This is in short and wide, and Meg Austin plays and misses in that. So at the end of the 14th, it is 99 for 2.
It's getting tough, isn't it? Getting up towards 9 and over. And leaves very little room for manoeuvre. But if they remain intact, they've got a great chance of winning the game. If these two are there at the end, I would fancy the Bears. If not, it's going to be up to somebody else to produce. I mean, Chloe Brewer can be a very fine finisher. Nat Wraith just hasn't made runs this year, but has got range hitting capacity. So this is the day to step up. I think from the Blaze point of view, the fact that Georgia Elwes has 2 overs left, of which this is going to be 1, the fact that Grace Ballinger has 1 left, that means for me 3 of the last 6 overs are going to be quite tough to score quickly on.
Will be a challenge, but it's what they train for now. Walk out, hit the first ball for 4 or 6, score quickly. Everybody's so used to doing that now with the amount of white ball cricket being played.
Elwes with a ring of fielders close in on the offside is nudged back to her by Pavley, who has got to start pushing the accelerator soon here. So it's quite amusing you saying that's what they're trained to do these days. When you're still in the 20s yourself. I mean,
I know.
You are this generation.
I know. It's what you do. It's all training's all geared up to walking in and trying to hit the first ball for 6.
Round the wicket, Elwes again drops this short, and it's slapped into the leg side, and she's going to find the gap there. Pavley. That was very much in her hitting arc, and she's looking down at her feet, Georgia Elwes, as she walks back to a mark, because that was sat up very nicely for Pavley. She's to 9. The Bears 100 is up, 103 for 2. Knott's got there in the 14th over. It's taken the Bears into the... Sorry, Blaze got there in the 14th. Can I stop doing that now? They got there in the 14th over. The Bears got there in the 15th. I'm going to berate myself later for doing that. As Pavley drives this one behind square, picks out the fielder, Ballinger. Good throw from her, keeps them honest, no run.
Yeah, 4 from this over. 49 required off 33 balls, so yes, 1 over, 1 tight over puts the run rate really, really high. 1 big over swings the momentum the complete opposite way. Really, really nicely poised.
That was to Pavley, very wide outside off stump. Pavley stabs it into the offside. They'll get a single. Might have been better off leaving that, because that might have been wide of the little marker that indicates to the umpire. They might need to single. 104 for 2. Only 5 off the first 4 balls. If the Blaze keep a boundary off the board in the next 2 deliveries, then it's very much their over. A wicket makes it even more their over.
Just making sure all the fielders in the right position. Again, another ring of fire on the offside, shall we call it.
Ballinger very fine at short third. Oh, and she's launching this to the leg side. She's got under the ball. The fielder across the boundary dives, but can't prevent it going for 6 over mid-wicket. It was a really bold attempt in the outfield there. Launching it. Is it Courtney Phillips or Tammy Beaumont? It's Tammy Beaumont who threw herself at it. She went full length to try and reel it in, but the short ball from Elwes didn't pay off. Meg Austin shows it's not just straight where she could do some damage. That goes into the wall of the Fox stand. 110 for 2. 11 off the over. 1 ball to come. This is full, driven back to the bowler, who fields it and then looks utterly disconsolate. There are 5 overs to go. Carl van Hollenhoven departs.
I'm going to depart and leave you with Dave for what is, I'm sure, going to be a thrilling last 5 overs.
Feels that way. It feels that way. Really, really lovely to work. First time I've worked with Carl. It's nice.
You want him?
Breath of fresh air, isn't it? Hey.
You got room in the back of the car, haven't you, on the way back?
Well, he knows Birmingham well enough, doesn't he? He's all right.
Sure, boys. You
I
let him go.
I bet he knows all the hostelries of Harborne. I'm sure he does. Basically, places to go for an orange juice, because obviously his body is a temper.
Well, it is.
110 for 2, 5 overs to go, 42 needed to win. Game on.
Cracker. We've got a cracker. There is Charlie Knott. 3 overs for 19. If she can bowl this one at the same sort of economy rate. Oh, it's gone down the leg side, so already gone for 1 in this over, and 6 balls still to come. Nelson on the board for the Superstitious. 1-1-1 for 2.
These 6 extras in this innings. I think the Bears conceded 17, was it, in the end?
16 or 17, wasn't it? Not round the wicket. Bowls. Oh, this one's gone straight up in the air now then. Catching opportunity here for the bowler. No, she can't get there. Did her best, Charlie Knott. Perils of having the leg side field set deep. It was a miss hit from Caris Pavely. Only landed round about the discs. Not rushing back from the stumps, trying to catch it. Just couldn't quite get there before it hit the turf.
If Caris Pavely could have placed the ball with her hand as to where she wanted it to drop, having mishit it, that is exactly the spot she'd have chosen. It's the one place that nobody was going to get to it.
112 for 2. Blaze again have got that line of 4 on the offside for Austin, who's on 63, playing a gem of an innings. It'll push and run here. Got to be sharp here, but they safely get home. It's good running.
So once Pavely set off, you're not going to catch her. That was a tight single, and yet she was standing up and beyond the wicketkeeper. She is quick.
Prisha Thanawala couldn't have done any more. She was quickly to the ball, swooped on it, good throw in. There's not in again to the left-hander. They're both at the same end here momentarily. This time it was Austin tearing down to make sure she got down to the danger end. 114 for 2.
At that point, if you hit it to a fielder, you've got to run anyway. You've got to put the pressure on the fielder.
It is almost like hit it and run at the moment. Still got 8 wickets in the hutch. This pair have added 25 from 17. 38 needed from 27. In most instances in this format, you'd expect the batting side to get home. Not bowls, nice and full. In fact, it's made into a low full toss by Meg Austin coming out of a crease. She'll just get a single here to move to 65. 115 for 2.
The onus now is on Charlie Knott to finish this over out. She's got 2 balls to go. Needs not to concede a boundary. The Bears really need one in this over, I fancy.
Pavely on an even dozen. Makes it into a baker's dozen with a drill down the ground to Marie Kelly for a single. You did see the Bears captain, Georgia Davis, fielding down the ground at long on and long off at stages. Marie Kelly's been pretty much doing it throughout this innings as well. This one slammed in her direction. Don't think she's going to be able to get there. Marie Kelly can't. And it's gone for 4 for Austin. And it goes on to 69, and that's a big over. Not finishing her 4 overs, none for 29. 120 for 2, 10 from it. Felt like more, but a really good over. And it's taken Meg Austin to 69. I don't know how up to date my notes are. I've got her T20 best as being just 51. So
yes, that is correct. Yeah, it's only a second half century, and it is a high score. But she is in form. 3 of the last 4 games has been 40 plus. She's really had to step up with the injury to Davina Perrin, who's such an outstanding batter at the top of the order. She has been the player that's given them some momentum, and without which they'd have been even further away from winning any of the 4 games they've played up to now. This is a drought they're trying to break. Charlie Phillips is going to come on to bowl the next over. It has gone very gloomy. There is the darkest cloud we've seen all day hanging over this ground, and that's why the Bears will be pleased they are ahead currently on Duckworth Lewis Stern. Just in case, you hope that doesn't come into play.
We'll be all right.
Should be. Pavely on strike to the first ball of a new over, and she clips this off her pads. There should be 2 if they run hard. Yep, Pavely will call Austin back for a second. And they do make them 122 for 2, 30 required off 23 balls. Not done it again. At this point, get a hot teaspoon and place it on the back of my neck. It's the only way I'm going to learn my lesson.
This time next year, you're going to be calling the side you're watching here, you're going to be calling them the Blaze, aren't you? Because they might not be called that then.
Is that right? Phillips in again, and a little reverse ramp and a chance, and that's a really good catch. Pavely is gone Diving low to her left, Maria Andrews with an excellent snare just above the turf. And just as the Blaze were getting desperate for a wicket, they get the breakthrough. What a reward that is for Charlie Phillips.
Yeah, good catch from Maria Andrews, and Caris Pavely at last is dismissed by the Blaze on this ground this season. She made 128 not out in the 50 over competition back in April. Add 15 to that and she marches off. She'll feel she's left a few out there, 15 from 14, but she's not had a bad time of it at Trent Bridge this season. 143 runs for once out, but has slightly opened the door. Nat Rafe coming in at 5, maybe bumped up the order 1 or 2 here, but she's got a wealth of experience here from these sorts of situations.
She has. She's had a really tough season so far. This is a chance to rewrite her season to some extent. She was very effective in 2025, coming in the lower middle order. So this is rather set up for her, but the reality is this is the point at which the Bears women's season has tended to sag, in that you suddenly see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is what they've got to avoid here. They've got themselves in a position to try and pull off what would be a really impressive first win of the season, but they're going to have to do a lot better in the middle order if they're going to achieve it. As Wraith awaits her first ball, mistimes it comes off the edge, that's fortunate. Grace Ballinger will give chase down to the boundary in front of us. They're racing back for 2. Ballinger has done a really good job of reeling that in, and they only do get 2. I think if they'd been convinced that Grace Ballinger could cut that off, they probably might have got 3, but she has had a very good all-round day, Ballinger.
She has indeed, yeah. And had there been a slip there, and of course there very rarely is in the 17th over of a T20 game, it was a regulation chance, wasn't it?
124 for 3. Might demonstrate where Wraith's confidence is, but maybe that will help her. She's off the mark, and now she's swinging outside off stump. Gets nothing on it. Through to the keeper, Ella Claridge. 28 required off 20.
Yeah, 3 overs to go. Grace Ballinger's got 1. You'd imagine she would bowl that. Knott's bowled out. Georgia Elwis has got 1. The 2 spinners, Andrews and Hyam, have bowled 4 between them.
Wraith awaits Phillips again, and she plays and misses outside off stump, but it's fumbled by the wicket-keeper. Meg Austin calls Wraith through for a bye, and then Claridge trying to throw the stumps down, rather drops it under her own glove and stops her own throw, which is a good trick if you could. I mean, if you could do that deliberately. 125 for 3, but that gives you a feeling that 27 off 19 may not feel like a lot, but there's that level of desperation that Meg Austin felt they got to go through there. Final ball of the over, 17th, and this is drilled out towards long off by Austin, who I think will feel that it's better to be on strike. She has her 70th run, 3 overs to go. The Blaze made 151 for 7 from their 20 overs. The Bears are 126 for 3. They need 26 off 18.
Yes, with all due respect to Nat Rafe, the Blaze would very much like to see Meg Austin at the non-striker's end at the moment. She's 70 not out from 44, and obviously she's been there long enough to be seeing it as big as the proverbial football. Going to be Georgia Elwis to bowl the 18th over, so that'll leave 1 for Ballinger and 1 for Phillips to wrap it up. So I don't think we're going to see any more pace off.
Isn't that interesting though, that the Bears' most effective bowlers were the spinners, and the Blazers' most effective bowlers have been with pace. Really interesting, the contrast.
I think Elwis will certainly roll the fingers over the ball during the course of this over. Won't all be the same pace. Nice and full, an LBW shout from Georgia Elwis. Nothing doing, according to the umpire. It is a leg by. 1 more to the total. So it's not a case of keeping Meg Austin on strikes. More than happy to take a single from the first ball.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're not going to turn down singles.
No.
So I mean, but from the Blaze point of view, you're delighted to get the change of strike. It was going down the leg side, but it was a very half-hearted appeal, to be fair.
25 off 17. Elwis in again, a little short, and just paddled out onto the leg side out to Tammy Beaumont. And they take a single. That one a couple of overs ago, away to our left in front of the Fox Road stand that went for 6. Beaumont flying through the air. It was almost a flashback to Sunday when she did that and caught one right on the boundary. She was horizontal when she took it. It was a magnificent catch.
Like a salmon going upstream, she was.
128 for 3. Elvis Bowles driven crisply by Austin down the ground. Fielded by Knott. Just one more. Could do with a boundary in this over, just to make sure that it's not too steep a task in the last 2. 23 required from 2.5 overs.
Interesting. Austin has faced 46 deliveries out of 105, having opened the batting. If she'd faced slightly more, I think they'd be very close to their total.
Wraith on strike on 3. Georgia Elvis bowls, and it's just drifted down the leg side, and that's got to be reloaded. One more to the tally. One more ball to be bowled. 130 for 3. 22 needed from 15.
Austin, one of only 3 batters that have looked really comfortable out there. Marie Kelly and Emma Jones both set themselves up to go on to bigger things.
Austin's at 7 4s and 3 6s. She's at the non-strikers end as Wraith into the offside. Here's Thanawala. Oh, she couldn't gather this one cleanly. And they cross over for one more. 131 for 3.
The gap between the actual score and the Duckworth Lewis Stern pass score has got very close now, which again is always it's such a good indicator of where you are in a game.
And at the end of the corresponding over, the Blaze were on 133. Bears are 131. 2 balls left in the over. Georgia Elwis to Meg Austin. Nice and full, right in the block hole from Elwis. That was good from her. It's stabbed out. They got a single. Thanawala Fields on the offside. 132 for 3.
Question in the mind of Marie Kelly is who to give the next over to. In that Ballinger's got more experience. You might want to save her for the 20th, but she much prefers the pavilion end.
She does indeed, yeah. I was just going to jump in and make that point. I'm sure she'll bowl the 19th. Elwis bowls and hitting across the line there. Nat Wraith doesn't get anything on it, so it's the end of the over. Crowd very much involved, as you can perhaps hear. They've been very good with the players, supported both sides equally throughout the course of the afternoon. 132 for 3, so 2 overs left. 20 to win, or can put it another way, 19 for a repeat of last year's tie.
Yeah, this could be the definitive over. I mean, that over from Georgia Elwis has got the Blaze right back into it. We can see that Nat Wraith has got no confidence at all. She's scored 4 off 6. She's swinging and missing. She got an edge for a couple. I mean, it's on the shoulders of Meg Austin, who's on strike to start this over. 20 runs off 2. The Bears need at least 10 off this over if they're going to chase this down. It's been a fascinating game, but for all that they've got wickets in hand, the Blaze may just have sent it back in their favour. Ballinger has bowled very well so far, played a very useful cameo of 17 not out, a couple of glorious shots through and over extra cover. 1 for 17 from her 3 overs, and now she comes in round the wicket to Meg Austin, very, very full, and all that Austin can do is dig it out. There's no run. She leans the back of her helmet on a bat, which she holds across her shoulders. Round 1 goes to Grace Ballinger.
Yeah, described disappointment in one photograph. That was Meg Austin, just stood there with, as Rich described her, a bat behind her back. As if it was some sort of medieval exercise she was attempting.
Ballinger in again, slightly shorter, but all she can do is drill it up to long on, and they're going to risk coming back for 2. They are going to put pressure on the fielders, and that's going to come off, although there's a shy at the stumps from Ballinger, which does knock the bails off. That was a crucial 2. 134 for 3, keeps Austin on strike now on 74.
It's one match in the women's competition finished already this afternoon. Leaders Surrey have defeated third-placed Essex. It does mean if the Blaze win, they're certain of going back into the top 4. Still with a game in hand on one or two sides.
And the Bears just not used to winning cricket games. That sometimes shows up in these situations. She wants to play the ramp shot here. It's hit her because Ballinger followed her. They'll come through for a leg bye. Grace Ballinger doesn't want Thanawala picking that up and throwing it. She says, I'll pick it up myself. Job done. 135 for 3. 17 needed off 9. Nat Wraith needs to come good for the visitors.
If you could have just put that on pause as Grace Ballinger was running in and the coach is just having a little word with Meg Austin. What are you going to attempt here? And I think the ramp shot to a ball a foot outside off stump was a high tariff shot for very little reward. She's been finding the boundary playing conventional cricket.
Ballinger bowled very straight the first two balls, so she's won that battle. That's a nice looking drive by Wraith, but with no timing at all, so it's picked up an extra cover, just a single. 16 off 8. It's getting difficult. There has to be a boundary in the next two deliveries.
Yeah, quick look at Charlie Phillips' figures. 3 overs, 1 for 19. So she's not exactly leaked runs. Has been 3 wides, or I think there was one that they ended up running a couple of wides, so it goes down as 3 wides.
Ballinger doing a number against her former county. Comes into Wraith, who makes room and hits it straight. Long off comes in and takes a very good catch. That'll be Marie Kelly attacking the ball. She is something of a specialist in the deep. Nat Wraith's innings comes to a conclusion. She made just 5. And with that wicket, you just wonder whether the Blaze have sealed the win to get back into the top 4.
Yeah, I watched the match at Edgbaston a week last Wednesday on the Bears' excellent live stream, and Marie Kelly had an in-out sort of day in the field. She caught 2, but she dropped 2, which was extraordinary. She doesn't spill many, and there's an example of just how good a fielder she can be. Safe pair of hands. The captain coming in. Never easy rushing in off the boundary like that and then throwing yourself full length forward. Meg Austin's out for 74 from 51 balls, 7 4s and 3 6s. Terrific innings from her, but she doesn't get a side over the line, and Mary Taylor has to come out still with 16 required, only 7 balls left.
It's my mistake. It was Meg Austin who fell. Well, she's blameless anyway. She had to go long ball at that point. Terrific knock, the knock of the day, but Ballinger has joined Georgia Davis, really has been the key bowlers of the day. 2 for 20 she is. Davis earlier in the day had 3 for 23. But her final ball is to Mary Taylor up the order because she can strike a clean ball. She doesn't here. They don't even score a run. Well, I mean, that over has done everything that was needed. A wicket, only 4 runs conceded. And the Blaze will be pretty confident here because the Bears need 16 off the final over. And for me, so much of this is a team that hasn't got the confidence to be winning matches. And that if you're out of the habit, no matter what sport you're playing in, if you are out of the habit, the key moments of the game, you don't necessarily have it in you to raise the game. And you look at the most experienced bowlers that the Blaze have got, they've really got the job done for their captain, haven't they?
It's had a terrific day, actually, Grace. Ballinger, and we flip it back an hour and 3/4 or so, the 20th over of the Blaze innings. Grace Ballinger and Prisha Thanawala managed to scramble one way or another, 12 really important runs, which means that going into the final over of the match, the Bears need 16. Will be Charlie Phillips to bowl the over. Good point from the back of the box as well from Carl. 136 for 4 is Phillips in. Down the track she comes and she's bowled. Nat Wraith for 5. Had to go big or go home, as they say, Nat Wraith there. She came charging down the track to play the big shot, missed it. Phillips' aim was true. She's knocked back the off pole. And Nat Wraith is out, bowled by Charlie Phillips. Her second wicket, 2 big ones as well. Pavley and now Wraith. And the Bears just having a wobble at the most important time of the match. Yeah, Kyle just at the back of the box before that ball. So those 15 wides that were sent down by the Bears bowlers, and of course the extra ball as well at the end.
Well, how often do you see that extra ball going for the boundary as well? It often does, doesn't it? And there are a couple of those today.
Yes, Amusa and Kumar, another one who's tipped for great things. She's nicely established now in the Bears side in all formats.
Yeah, she's played a lot of cricket these last 2 years. Out of rugby school.
They'll be building a statue if she can get them home from here. 16 from 5 balls.
I mean, it might only be papier-mâché, but nonetheless.
Chance to be a hero. Tammy Beaumont was out on the deep square leg boundary. It's just been brought up inside the ring. long distance chat between bowler Phillips and Captain Kelly. Saran Kumar then to face her first ball. Mary Taylor's yet to score at the other end, and down the track she comes, and this is it out on the offside. Kelly will do the fielding. In comes the throw, and they'll only get one. Good work by the skipper again. Just one. That means 15 required from 4.
Be a good one to win from here, wouldn't it?
I watched the televised game last night, Glamorgan and Somerset. I don't know if you saw it. There were 9 required for, I think, from 4 balls, and the floodlights went out. Hugely dramatic. I had to get those fixed to finish the game. 137 for 5. And this ball is deflected over the keeper's head by Mary Taylor. She'll just get a single. The last ball of the match, actually, last night was hit for 4, but they're going to need, I think, more than that here. 14 required from 3.
To be fair, those of us of our generation, Dave, who've been on holidays to the southwest, will be very familiar with needing to find another 50p for the metre in holiday accommodation.
Very much so.
They had to find it a couple of times at Taunton last night. Nobody carried cash.
A bit more than 50p for the metre these days. Charlie Phillips, 2 wickets to her name, bowling to Saran Kumar. She's got hold of this one, but won't go as far into the deep as she was hoped. And in fact, Emma Jones has to come in from the deep mid-wicket boundary, and they're already clapping because they know that the Bears can't win. The best they can do is a tie, unless, of course, there's an overstepping or
5 wide, stand the next side.
Exactly, yeah. Bears require 13 from 2 balls, so they've both got to go for 6.
It could be a strangely wide margin in the end, considering that 3 overs ago the Bears were in good shape to chase it down.
139 for 5. Been a good last over this from Charlie Phillips. She bowls now and backing away there. Mary Taylor couldn't get anywhere near it, and as a consequence it's not called as a wide because it wasn't that far away from the off stump. And that will be that. There's 1 ball left.
Give Marie Kelly a lot of confidence in Charlie Phillips moving forward, won't it? Seeing her, I know in the end she was given a lot to bowl at because of the outstanding performance from Grace Ballinger, but she's handled this over perfectly.
She has indeed. Phillips in bowls. This one is out of the middle, but straight the way out to Emma Jones, and they'll only run 1, so they'll finish on 140 for 5. The Blaze will be winners by 11 runs. Just on Charlie Phillips there, Cassidy McCarthy, who was really one of the stars of the Blaze season last year, has been injured, not played this year. So Charlie Phillips getting more of a chance in both the 50 overs and in the T20. And as a consequence, you know what it's like, bowling more overs, playing more games. Your performances are improving, and thrust with the responsibility there. She came through, held a nerve, finishes with 4 overs, 2 for 23. The Blaze have won by 11 runs. In the end, they've won 4 and dropped 1 of their first 5 matches, and courtesy of Surrey beating Essex, a match that finished 20 minutes or so ago, the Blaze will, when all the matches today have finished, be at least somewhere in the top 4, and that's where you need to be. And
the Bears, well, that's not going to happen for them this year. It's 5 defeats out of 5. They're going to learn a lot about these players in the closing weeks of the season, but the bottom line, Dave, for me, it boiled down to a team that's more used to winning, knowing what to do actually at the end of each innings, because the Bears have bowled themselves back into contention after that flying start that the Blaze made. Probably didn't make enough in the power play, but I mean, you've got to say Meg Austin gets no criticism for that. She went on to play an exit innings of 74. She played the innings of the match, but in the end the more accomplished team got themselves over the line. Yeah, terrific stuff from Meg Austin. Very much enjoyed her performance today. The Blaze with the win. The 2 teams, really good sportsmanship as always between the 2 of them. I sense there's a really good close bond between the 2 sides as they shake hands, and they'll meet again before the end of the season, certainly in the 50 over competition, but today it's the Blaze that have got the win. Huge thanks to Richard Wilford and to Mike Taylor for joining Kyle and myself in the commentary. Remember, there is another match to follow, another part of the double header. Mike and Richard will be doing the commentary on BBC WM a little later on for the men's match. Kyle and myself will be covering the Notts versus Warwickshire game from the Nottinghamshire angle on the FM frequencies, and obviously for the club stream
But here, the first of the double header today has gone to the Blaze. They're back to winning ways. They've defeated Warwickshire by 11 runs. The Blaze are back in action here on Sunday when they face Lancashire. 11 o'clock start. If you can join us for that one, we'd love to have you along. Men's match to follow. That starts at 6:30. But from Richard, from Mike, from Carl, myself, Dave, thanks for your company this afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. And we'll be back with the men's game a little later on for those that want to follow us with that one. From us all, a very good afternoon from Trent Bridge.